and Cash for Cans. Depots in Bunbury, Capel, Collie, Donnybrook, Darkin and Harvey. They're just about all over the place. Cash for Cans. We're at Hands Oval this afternoon for the clash between South Bunbury and Augusta Margaret River. And we are perched up in a very, very nice commentary box. I'm Alan Crane. Next to me is the legend from the lower southwest in Nigel Reeves. Weaver, welcome.
Good afternoon, Craney. How are you?
Yeah, let's do a conditions report thanks to Garage Doors Southwest. Thanks to they're the accredited B&D dealers, Garage Doors Southwest, and the oval looks absolutely brilliant. What a lovely day for football, Weaver.
It's magnificent conditions for footy. If you're a footy player, these are the days you want to play in. So we look forward to a really quick game between two really strong sides and see if South Bunbury can maintain their unbeaten run.
Let's do a quick conditions report for in here. Commentary box. Pretty
Beautiful.
handy, isn't it?
Beautiful. Probably we're a little bit too close at the moment, but we'll work that out. But no, conditions otherwise.
We've got the big
very
commentary
good.
box and we're sitting shoulder to shoulder. This is the Tyre Power pre-game show. Thanks to Tyre Power. Get the power. Visit your local Tyre Power store today for a free tyre inspection. There are over 50 stores in WA. If you want some tyres on your vehicle, mate, you've got a magnificent vehicle sitting over there. Nice little Hyundai. Now we will be going around the grounds thanks to Geograph Civil this afternoon to keep you up to date. Other games going on, but this one, Augusta Margaret River and South Bunbury are out on the ground. Some of the key matchups for this afternoon for Southern Lock and Security. Well, key matchups. It's interesting to see what Julian Burgess, the coach of South Bunbury, will do with Ben Horsman, because Kieran Yackers, the AMR ruckman, very good. Whether he plays young Pedley on him to start with and leaves Horsman back, or he brings Horsman into the ruck.
Look, if it was me, I'd probably start Pedley in the ruck. I thought his grand final game last year was outstanding, and I did watch Yackis a couple of weeks ago against Collie, and he played really well, moved forward and possibly kicked the goal towards the end of the game. So for me, if I was Burjo, not that I am, he's a premiership coach of the South Bunbury League team last year, I'd start Pedley in the middle, leave Horsman back and just see how that all unfolds.
Well, I can just about tell you, I think Pedley's coming to the Harvey Norman interchange bench as we speak, and Benny Horsman is heading into the middle of the ground. So there you go. That wasn't a stitch up, only just seen that happen just then. So there you go. And look, Margaret River, you've seen him in Collie. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought they were solid. I mean, their key defensive posts in Morgan and Payne were outstanding down back, and they have a lot of runners. I thought Jed Spence, someone I haven't seen before, but I looked at his credentials and they're top shelf. So the South Bunbury want to keep an eye on him, and Yackis gives them nearly first hand on the ball every time in the middle. So should be a really interesting game and some really good matchups right across the field. Not
very far away from a start here at Hands Oval in magnificent condition, and the view here is absolutely superb. South Bunbury, AMR go head-to-head. Umpire holds the ball aloft, and we are underway. Nigel Reeves, take it away.
And up goes Yackis, wins the ball down there in the direction of Rogers. The umpire's seen a free kick straight away, and the ball will go back, and I think is it Nordell in the middle of the ground.
Waldrop, that is.
Waldrop will take the relieving free kick. He looks down and finds Bain, who's run on from the centre, all on his own. Just outside 50, comes across the ground. And South Bunbury will have the first shot on goal 1 minute into this game, with Ethan Nordell to take the shot from about 45 metres out, slight angle, and should have the leg. A little bit sloppy in the middle of the ground there, Margaret River. Just let Bain run forward, and he's a class act. So,
and welcome all to our radio listeners. The game has just got underway. In the first seconds of the game, we have Ethan Nordell having a shot for goal for South Bunbury. He's going to drop a bit short. Augusta Margaret River is the game we're covering this afternoon from Hands Oval. I'm Alan Crane, and of course Nigel Reeves is with me.
I've just had a warm-up there, Craney.
You did have a bit of a practice, yeah. The game got underway a little bit early for us, but welcome to everyone.
Welcome, and beautiful conditions here for football. So, as we said, Nordell got the easy kick out of the middle there from a free kick and found Bain. So, lit off there for Augusta Margaret River. As the ball's to be brought back in. South Bunbury have set up a zone here. They come across the ground here, and they find Payne. Still inside defensive. If he comes down the line and finds Cook. Cook wheels around, tries to get the ball around. It's smothered there by Chitty. The ball comes out. Back the umpire's seen another free kick. And the free kick will go to Oldman. Relieving free kick just outside.
As well, because South Bunbury we're going to go. A big thank you to Hyundai for their sales are now Ron and Southwest Isuzu for your support for the first quarter action.
Oldman comes into the middle of the field. It comes back down there and it finds Jed Spence. Highly credentialed pick up for the Augusta Margaret River Hawks. He goes across the ground, finds Anderson. Anderson goes down the wing on the far side of the ground. The ball's over the back of the pack. Versace in pursuit of, I think it's there, is it Anderson again? The ball, the umpire's seen a free kick. Play on advantage to Margaret River. They come inside 50.
Nice spot up. Good lead, good kick.
Spotted up.
The Margaret River player not too far out from goal. It was a nice little build-up by Margaret River around the outer side.
I think it's George there from about 45 metres out. He'll have a deliberate shot on goal.
George it is, Weave, yes.
So George, who played a little bit defensive there a couple of weeks ago when I watched them against Collie, but that was a terrific lead and playing advantage. And George will come in from about 40 metres out, 45-degree angle, deliberate shot on goal. It's a he's just pushed it across the face of goal for a minor score.
What a beautiful day for footy, Weaver. Just about perfect. Hardly a breath of air. A nice little high cloud and just a beautiful day. The oval in absolutely beautiful condition.
There'll be no complaints about the conditions today. Should be a pretty quick game as well, and it started that way. As South Bunbury three-quarter bring the ball back into play, looks down the middle of the ground. He finds there in Toby Hawkins. Hawkins plays on back to Goyder. Goyder's run on, kicks out to the outer side there looking for Chitty. The ball lands short of him, and it's Wiskin who comes over with the spoil and spoils it out of bounds on the far side of the ground. Centre wing, great defensive work there by Goyder. Kicks out a full-back. We know his credentials as well, coming from Cogent up and drafted into the Eagles. So
thanks to Cash for Cans too, cashforcans.com.au, recycling made easy.
So Crane gets a kick away from the ruck contest. He didn't take the ruck, of course. He's a little bit short one end, but the ball comes back out to Wiskin.
A little bit short one end.
He comes out there to Morgan. Morgan looks down there. But it's support there by Goyder. It comes over to, is it Horsman? Horsman comes back through the middle of the ground, but the kick falls short. And Billy Goodwin takes the mark just outside 50. He looks inside there to his full forward in George. It comes back there to Cook. Cook puts the ball, it's a shot on goal, but it's gone across the face and out of bounds on the full. And South Bunbury will take the relieving kick right on the point post and bring it back into play.
Look, they've got the majority of the football at the moment. South were very slow to get started against Kerry Park last week, or they had the bye last week, the week before that.
The ball comes down right in front of the commentary box here. It goes over the back. Yakas is first there. The ruckman for Augusta Margaret, who gets rid of his directed opponent. It comes over to Goodwin. Goodwin goes inside and finds Spence. Spence drives the ball back in forward. He's outnumbered there, the full forward from Margaret River, and Versace comes across the front of the pack and takes a relieving mark. He switches play and goes on the far side again there. Goyder's found some space, comes onto his trusty left foot, looks inside and finds Sean Crane. He plays on straight away, comes over to Nordell. Nordell there looking there for, is it Cormac? Cormac through the middle of the ground. Oh, I got some sort of handball. Could have been classified a throw, but the umpire didn't see it. Over to Horseman. And Margaret River with the numbers have tied up South Bunbury just inside their forward 50.
A little bit scrambly earlier on, Weaver. They're just both sides feeling each other out.
They are, and Margaret River have come to play, so got numbers around the footy. No one wins that ruck contest straight away. It comes over to Spence, who's been terrific early, and once again the ball's tied up. Just on 50, Margaret River's end.
We're looking for a tackle of the game too, thanks to Bunbury Mower Service, so keep an eye on that one for you, Weaver.
As Yakas wins the ball down, but it comes over to Crane. Clever work there by Cook. Over to Wiskin. Wiskin puts the ball down. Must have been touch ball. The umpire's seen it as a free kick, and he will pay the relieving free kick as Crane puts a tackle on right in front of the commentary box. You'll be happy with that one, Craney.
Do we give him a little bit of a note for the tackle of the day?
No, maybe not. Was that a pun? No. As Ethan Nordell puts the ball up there looking for Tyson Lane, but it's over his head, and the relieving mark is there taken by Margaret River. Across the side of the ground looking for Ullman, but once again the mark's cut off. The ball's back in there looking for Chitty.
It's turnover city at the moment.
Mitchell Payne cuts that one off at centre half back and comes straight across in front of the commentary box and finds Fisher. Fisher comes down right in front of the commentary box this time, and it's Donovan who gets the ball. He gets it over to Shanahan. Shanahan still on centre wing.
He was very good for Margs the last couple of games, Tommy Shanahan.
To play it on. He drives the ball long just inside 50 there looking for Morgan. Is it Misses the mark, gets a handball over there to Spence. And Margaret River get the first goal of the game. Terrific effort there by Morgan to take a great contested mark. Gets the handball out and from 40 metres. I'm sure it was Spence.
Quinn Donald. Market goal of the day so far, Weaver.
Yeah.
So we're also looking for a CPR Outdoors mark of the day as Jared O'Brien joins us in the box. He hasn't got the headset on. He's had a few technical difficulties going. Is it all right now, Jared? Yeah, he's got the thumbs up. As we are into the first quarter action here at Hands Oval, South Bunbury AMR.
The ball's back in the middle of the ground. It'll be Horsman v. Yakis. Umpire throws the ball up. It's one down by Yakis over to Spence, but he's tied up straight away. And the umpire will come in and throw it right in the middle of the ground here. It's Margaret River putting a lot of pressure on South Bunbury early stages. Yakis once again wins the ball down. It comes back over there to Crane. Crane gets a handball out. Out to, is it Nordell? Nordell's tackled straight away. And once again, the umpire will come in and throw the ball up.
No, it's AMR free kick out of that.
Free kick as the ball comes across the side of the ground and it finds Donovan. Been prominent early, wheels down on his left foot. It's a great looking kick. And he finds Spence. Spence goes onto his left. That's a beautiful kick.
Good kick. That makes forward play a bit easy, doesn't it? When you lead and get hit like that, very little defensive can do about it. Couple of yards, bit of a break, and the kick was absolutely perfect. And I tell you what, Weaver, Margaret River are here to play. Augusta Margaret River.
They are. That was a terrific effort by Spencer on the opposite side of his body to hit George. George's about 45 metres out. Tight angle. It's been prominent early. Comes in now.
Well, that's a great beautiful kick.
Great kick from George as he puts it straight over the goal umpire's hat for Margaret River's second goal of the game. As they move to 2 goals, 1-13 to South Bunbury, 1 point on the Southwest Isuzus.
And easy turnovers too, which have opened it up for the AMR side. So Tigers need to settle a little bit.
Just winning it out of the centre quite easily, aren't they? Yakis is getting first hand on the ball, and the clearances are all Margaret River's way at this stage. And every time South Bunbury do go forward, they're just turning the ball over, allowing them to reset. Once again, the ball's back in the middle. Up goes Yakis. Both ruckmen missed the ball, but it comes out there. Looking there, is it Fisher? Fisher gets a handball out to Ullman. He misses the ball, but he's got numbers in support. South Bunbury there managed to get the numbers. The ball comes out to Nordell. It comes out to Bodie Nordell. Nordell looks down. The kicks falls a little bit short there to Johnson. Johnson brings it back to the top of the goal. South Bunbury have the numbers here. As it's Ethan Nordell, he wheels out. He brings a handball in. Comes back. The umpire's seen a free kick. And South Bunbury will get a free kick 20 metres out from goal, basically directly in front. And Kay Siska will have the shot on goal. Didn't see what that free kick was for there, Croney, but I'm sure Siska won't be too worried about that. It's 20
you don't ask
out.
When you get him 20 metres out, do you?
He's been good early, Siska. Trots in, deliberate shot on goal. Makes the umpire work a little bit, but it's good enough. And the South Bunbury Tigers.
Yeah, you've got
their
that
first
on the
goal
ball.
on the.
You've been waiting. What?
I have. I've been waiting 10
minutes
for
to say that. Furniture interchange bench. It'll be interesting to see how both coaches use that this afternoon.
And that was a terrific kick there by Johnson, just at the top of the square, just to put Margaret River's defence under pressure.
It's a good point you made, Weaver, because it would have been easy for him to have a bit of a snap at the pegs. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
We'll give him that.
Thanks to MGIB, like a good neighbour, MGIB is there. That's ball up again.
By throws the ball up. Yakis versus Horsman. Yakis wins it again, straight to himself, gets a kick forward inside 50. Goes over the head, could have been paid a mark there, and it was Thomas Galloway who takes a relieving mark.
That, wasn't it, from Galloway?
Comes across the ground and finds Cormac. Cormac goes across the ground there, and he's got his mate there. And is it Versace, I think, out on the far side of the ground?
Kev Chitty out there.
Kev Chitty. He comes inside there looking for Horsman. Yakas is with him. Probably could have taken the mark. The ball's tied up. He gets the ball back out. Comes over to Spence. Over to Fisher. Fisher, who's been prominent early, he drives the ball down. But South Bunbury have all the numbers and take the relieving mark at centre half back. Tries to bring the ball inside there to Siska, but it's cut off there by Payne. Comes over to Oldman. Oldman gets the ball out to Spence. Could have been taken high, and the umpire sees it that way. And he'll have the relieving kick to drive. Margaret River back inside 50 once again.
A couple of decisions there. They had men on the outside, which would have opened up this grandstand wing, went to a 2-on-1 and forced the turnover.
As Spence goes short into Fisher, still in the middle of the ground. Margaret River right on top at the moment. He drives the ball long there looking for Morgan. Is it? Could have nearly taken the mark. Comes over there to Galloway. Galloway gets a kick out, but it comes back there to Spivey. And his shot has gone across the face of the goal for a minor score.
Max Spivey, very good player for a while now for AMR. Gets a lot of the footy and normally uses it pretty well. Just missed that one, but normally a very good shot at goal. And you're right, Weaver, AMR are right on top.
They're right on top in the clearances, and they're just having all the people on the ground when the ball is in dispute.
You need to make the most of when you've got the momentum, though, because you know the Tigers, they never give up.
As once again Goyder will bring the ball back into play. He looks to go down nearly the middle of the ground. He's got a great lead there from...
Oh, that was a bad bounce for him.
Comes back to Margaret River there in Goodwin. Goodwin has a shot on goal. And he's pushed it across the face of the goal for another minor score. So a couple of let-offs there for South Bunbury in the last couple of minutes. So they moved to 2 goals, 3-15 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard for the South Bunbury Tigers, 1 goal, 1-7.
I think you'll be worried about the lack of movement from the Tigers at the minute, although this might work.
As Goyder looks there for Siska, he didn't see the Margaret River gentleman come off the bench. It goes back to Goodwin. He's been good early. He
I
gets
like
the
that,
handball
gentleman.
Gets the ball into Spence, and Spence has a short kick and finds his Margaret River teammate there, who will have a shot from 45 metres out.
You're right, he snuck off the bench and ended up making it a 2-1. The kick was almost there, but the 2-1, 1 out. And Margaret River will be having another shot for goal with Ben Watson.
So Watson, from exactly the same place that George had a shot from prior for their last goal.
Copy that, he'd be all right, won't he, Weaver?
Copy and paste, straight through, aim for the right goal post. As Watson comes in now, deliberate shot on goal. Ooh, he just has an aim for the right goal post. He aimed for the wrong one as it goes a little bit narrow there for a minor score.
Very little breeze out there by the look of the trees, but both those balls have curved or swung in, haven't they?
They have. Spence has been prominent early. He's setting up most of their shots on goal, so they need to tighten up on him, South Bunbury, especially through the middle of the ground. As once again Goyder crosses the goal square, drives it long to the middle of the ground there, looking for Pedley, who's come onto the ground. It's spoilt there by Payne. Payne gets the ball out to Ullman. Ullman gets a handball back to Payne. Payne picks it up. Back over there to his Margaret River a teammate in Fisher, and Fisher misses the ball, and the ball's tied up right in the middle of the ground.
Great day for footy here at Hands Oval. Absolutely picture perfect.
Yakas once again wins the ball down, but Sean Crane could have been held there without the ball. Umpire didn't see it that way, but the free kick's been paid. I think it's Spence once again. It was taken high and will drive the ball back inside.
Not quite sure what's happening. The umpire's waving his hands around the place.
Spence looks for a good lead there, and that is a great kick. That's a great kick, and once again,
it's
so
Bo
Morgan.
It's the amount of space that South Bunbury are leaving in that AMR forward line, isn't it? They've got space to burn down there. Morgan ran into a hole all right, but the kick was good, but gee, way too much space.
So Morgan will have a shot from about 45 metres out, basically directly in front to finish off the good work from Spence. In he comes now. It's a good-looking kick. It's a great-looking kick as Morgan puts it straight over top of the umpire's hat to put Margaret River's third goal on the board as they move to 3 goals, 4-22 to South Bunbury, 1 goal, 1-7.
Umpires. But have a bit of a look there, Weaver, while you just carry on there. But Damien Sheffelli is the other goal umpire.
They're really going to have to tighten up on Spence.
Well, I think they need to.
About him.
I think they need to start filling up some holes there. There's just way too much space for the AMR players at the moment, and starting to get a pretty handy lead on the board early in the game.
Ball's back in the middle again. Up goes Yakas. He wins it down once again. It comes over to that man Spence. He gets a quick kick onto his boot, but Goyder cuts it off right at centre half back.
Gee, Yakas has started the game very well, hasn't he? The big ruckman for AMR.
He sure has. As Goyder comes in the middle of the ground with a short kick and finds Galloway. No one on the mark. Galloway doesn't know what to do. He drives it long down the wing here, looking there. Chitty comes over there to Siska. Siska, who's been good early, gets a handball over to Nordell, Bodie Nordell, and he's tied up before he can get any purchase on the ball. And the umpire once again will come in and throw the ball up. 70 metres out from South Bunbury's goal. They need one before the end of this quarter as Pedley wins clean possession out of the ruck and gets the ball forward. Looking there for Johnson, is it or Bain? It comes back out. South Bunbury have the numbers here through Captain Chitty. He gets the handball out to Crane. Crane comes out to Bodie Nordell. He drives the ball in long, right at the teeth of goal, but across the front of the pack.
A nice mark that from Mitch Ellis.
Mitch Ellis and takes a terrific relieving mark. Over there once again to Spence. He's got space to burn. No one in front of him now. Has a couple of bounces, looks short and finds Anderson, I think it is, out on the far side of the ground. Leroy Anderson. Still just outside defensive 50 there, comes inside and finds Goodwin, who was a terrific lead, and he's right on centre wing.
Big ruckman Yakas is coming off through the Harvey Newman interchange bench for a well-earned rest. You wouldn't want to leave him off the ground too long, though, I wouldn't have thought.
The ball's driven
hit over
long
the back.
there as Donovan comes over the top, but out the back there is it George. He gets a handball over there to Morgan. Morgan puts some sort of kick inside the goal square, but Versace cuts it off. He gets a handball over to Crane. Crane picks the ball up and drives the ball onto his foot. Cummings, who's just come off the bench, picks the ball up. He has a shot on goal. Probably should have put it to the top of the square, but the ball goes over the top and is well spoilt through the points there by Thomas Goyder. And South Bunbury will have the relieving kick coming back into play.
AMR play a bit the worse for wear in the goal square.
Goyder crosses the goal square and comes up and finds Bodie Nordell still inside defensive 50. Yes, there was a big pack down there.
Here's a lack of run.
Nordell goes straight across the other side of the ground, still inside 50, and finds Sean Crane. Crane comes down just outside 50 and finds Crawford. Crawford plays on straight away and a short kick. The ball's dropped there. I think it's at Bain. And it's tied up on the outer wing. So for all the good work they did hitting targets outside and inside the defensive 50, they've turned the ball over about 70 metres out from Augusta Margaret River's goal.
That's the biggest stat for the Tigers at the minute, Weaver, the turnovers. And they are blatant turnovers at the minute because they're getting that lack of run from behind that they normally have.
As Pedley works his way in front, wins the ball down. The ball comes out there to Nordell. Over there to Versace. Versace, I think it's Galloway, gets the left foot kick down.
Nice
and
grab.
That's a terrific mark there. Gets a handball on straight away, back to Galloway. Galloway gets a handball to Siska. Siska comes over there to Nordell. Ethan Nordell, he's well pressured there, but the ball seems to follow and go past the Margaret River player and comes to Versace. He kicks the ball inside 50, and the ball's tied up as Zach Ivey tackles, I think it's Donovan, and the ball will be thrown up about 70 metres out from South Bunbury's goal.
Terrific run by Rocco Versace from that back line.
Chitty gets a handball out inside 50. It comes over to Payne. Could have been tackled high. And that's a David and Goliath. If Siska ties him up. Still just outside South Bunbury's forward 50. Looking to get their second goal of the first quarter. Pedley wins the ball down. Comes over there to George. George gets the ball on boot and finds Miles Bridgeland. Bridgeland gets a kick down there, but it's cut off there by Jack Wright. Wright gets a handball over to Goyder, who's been good early in this quarter, working hard down back. But the ball's cut over
there. Bit of pressure now.
By George once again. South Bunbury have the numbers here.
That was good by Tommy Goyder. You know, he got the ball, he made the mistake, but then he fixed the mistake. That's all you ask for, isn't it?
I think with the pressure Margaret River are putting on you, you just got to go back in for those second and third efforts. So he's been good early, Goyder. Very good. Ball's thrown up once again. It's Cummings versus Pedley. Pedley wins the ball down. It comes over there. I think is it Nordell? No, it's Waldrop. Waldrop puts a heavy tackle on, and the ball will be thrown up about 60 metres out from Margaret River's goal.
Well, it's not pretty, Weaver, early, but it's pretty fierce.
It's fierce, a lot of pressure. Pedley's made a difference in the ruck, and Cummings just needs to quell his influence a little bit as the ball's tied up once again. Donaldson's on the bottom of the pack, and the umpire will throw it up. Basically in the same position.
Since Yakas has come off, they've added a little bit there, so I should imagine he'll be back on shortly.
Cummings versus Pedley. No one wins the ball down straight away. Siska could have been taken without the ball, and the umpire sees it that way. And Siska, he's been good early, will take the relieving kick in the defensive half for South Bunbury. And that's at 50 metres.
Yeah, there's a bit of a mind snap there, wasn't it? Just realised as soon as he had run through it there, the Augusta Margaret River player. You know, I think that was
just having a chinwag here.
Oh, I thought there was a 50. No. There's not a 50? There is a 50. Not quite sure.
I'm not sure either. I think the umpires aren't sure, but the ball's back in. Siska takes it from where he started from and comes across, still inside defensive 50, and Goiter with the footy. So plenty of the footy in the first half for a centre half back as Goiter plays on and moves to the other side of the ground. It's a terrific lead by Sean Crane, a terrific kick, and he takes the mark on the outer wing. Gets the handball over to Versace. Versace goes down the middle of the ground. Could have been chopping of the arms there, and a free kick's paid there.
At least that was a bit of run behind and a real bit of positive run.
I think it was Zach Ivey who takes the kick, comes back over to Crane, and Crane goes forward.
Chase Cormack takes the mark.
And Cormack. Been a little bit quiet early as Cormack drives the ball to the top of the square. South Bunbury have the numbers here with Waldrop. The ball goes over his head. In comes Mitchell Payne. Gets a handball out there to Shanahan. Shanahan comes back over to Donovan. Donovan gets a handball back out. The ball's missed there by Goodwin. He just puts the ball on to boot. South Bunbury have the numbers here. Waldrop, or is it Nordell, could have been paid.
Got a bit of a massage.
Just got a little bit of an ear massage.
That was a Nigel Reeves special, wasn't it?
No.
A nice little ear massage?
I never did that, according to me. But Bodie Nordell, he's been really good early.
Hang on, there's text messages are lit up from all the forwards that played on you.
Just outside 50, Nordell there looking for Cormack. It is. That's a great kick. It's a terrific mark too by Cormack with Oldman.
And a real positive lead. Like, that's the way to lead at the footy, isn't it? 100 mile an hour and dead set, you're going to get it there. Once you present like that and the kick's decent, it works very well for you.
So Jace Cormack will have a shot on goal from about 40 metres out. 45-degree angle, but Nordell, terrific kick. And as you said, Croney, terrific lead. Nice hole to lead into, but a real positive, strong lead. As in comes Jace Cormack. 45 metres out. That's a great looking
He
kick.
does not miss too often, does Jace Cormack. He is absolutely all class. He has been for a long time and made absolutely no mistake about that.
It's just a great finish here as Nordell put himself in a position to 8. Trail the Augusta Margaret River Hawks, 3 goals, 5-23.
You've been doing your homework on these mascots, haven't you?
I've got them highlighted here.
For anybody who doesn't know, Weaver made one mistake and Jared O'Brien's never let him forget about it.
No, terrific effort. You just see South Bunbury just starting to work themselves into the game now. Really strong lead. Goiter hit Sean Crane on a 50-metre lead on the outer side of the ground.
He's working hard, Crane, actually up and down the ground to make an option because there's not a lot of run out there by the Tigers.
Once again, it's Yakas. Wins the ball straight out there to Spence, who's been really good in this first quarter. Just goes over Goiter's head in the direction of Morgan. Morgan knocks the ball out and Yakas follows his ball up. It's a long way down there for the big fella. Ball still in play there. Comes out there to Shanahan. Shanahan over to Donaldson. Donaldson has a snap on goal and it's just missed. So
the big fella Yakas there, he thought he was just going to scoop that off the ground there. Eddie Betts like, but it didn't work that way.
It's when you're a big fella, not that I am, but you need just a nice little bounce just to make it a little bit easier. But terrific follow-up.
He's had a great quarter, the big fella, no doubt about that. in fact all AMR have, they'd be quite happy with the quarter. They'd want to hold the Tigers in these last few minutes.
As once again, Goiter plays on straight away, gains 20 metres, drives the ball along on the outer side of the ground there. Disputed ball there, was it? Comes over to, is it? I think it's Donaldson. He's well tackled there by the South Bunbury opponent. Ball's still in play. It comes over there to Yakas. He's in everything at the moment. Over to Chitty. Chitty gets the ball down there looking for Nordell, and Nordell's got space and takes a terrific mark. Chest mark, plays on straight away there to Ivy, I think it is. Ivy puts the ball in there looking for Johnson. He's well spoilt there, and in comes Payne, and Payne's tied up just inside defensive 50 as South Bunbury look to put another goal on the board before quarter time.
We're looking for the goal of the day too, thanks to WA Carpet Supermarket, and the mark of the day for CPR Outdoor Centre, so keep an eye on them, Weaver.
Once again, Yakas wins the ball down. Horsman gets a slight kick away, comes over to Cormac. Cormac gets a handball over. No, this is Cormac who runs onto the ball again. And Jace Cormac.
A nice little handball out by Nordell then set up Jace Cormac for his second goal of the day. And as I said, he is a very, very dangerous player wherever he might be, and looks like he's coming to the hub.
Difference time on in the first quarter.
You just wonder, don't you, Weaver, that 3 goals 6 AMR are kicked. They've had a majority of the play, but that 6 points maybe come back to bite them in the end.
Well, as you said early in the quarter, Croney, they've just wasted a few pretty good opportunities, and it could do. And South Bunbury are that sort of team that make you pay for those little mistakes.
Well, if you're going to beat South Bunbury, you need to be on for 4 quarters, and that's easier said than done.
Ball back in the middle, up goes Yakas. He wins the ball down nearly to himself, but comes out to Horsman. Horsman knocks the ball forward. Umpire's seen a free kick. He's paid kicking in danger. Not sure about that one, but the umpire says that is the case, and the ball will come back in the middle of the ground to Fisher.
Yeah, they can argue all they like, but the kick is going to Fisher. He's been good early, hasn't he, Fisher?
Spivey.
Oh, Spivey?
Spivey, sorry.
Well, he's been good as well.
He's been good too. Spivey drives the ball long, straight down the middle of the ground, looking for Cummins. It goes over his head, and Galloway takes a relieving mark for South Bunbury just inside defensive 50.
Pretty handy footballer, Galloway.
Sure is.
He's been good across that defensive unit.
As Horsman takes a short kick. Just outside defensive 50 here. South Bunbury just look to slow it down going into quarter time. He comes across right in front of the commentary box here, and Waldrop takes a kick, takes the mark. Probably could have been paid 50 there. Waldrop comes down the wing here, looking there for Tyson Lane. Lane takes the mark, drives the ball long, gets it on quick, looking there for Siska. Goes over his head. The ball comes back out to Mitchell Bain.
King Mitchell Bain.
And Bain finds Ethan Nordell. He plays on straight away there to Reece Crawford, and Crawford has a shot on goal. And Reece Crawford, near quarter time, puts through 3 goals in a row for the South Bunbury Tigers. And all of a sudden, in the space of a couple of minutes, South Bunbury have hit the front of the...
Nordell's been in absolute everything in this quarter. Beautiful finish by Reece Crawford. Nice, he would have liked that one too, Crawf. So it was a good finish, and as you say, Weaver, 4 goals 1, 3 goals 6 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, those 6 points.
Well, they're just starting to get their game going, aren't they? They're playing on, they've got blokes in the right position.
They've had a bit of an interrupted start the season. You know, they played one, had the season a bye, so it'll take them a while.
As Shanahan kicks the ball out of the centre there, looking for Anderson. It's well spoilt there by Goiter. Here comes Versace with Morgan. Comes back out to Crawford, the last goal kicker, over to Goiter, who's been terrific. I don't know if he was looking for Crawford, but the ball's gone out of bounds, about 70 metres out.
South's 2 defenders in Rocco Versace and Goiter, they don't mind taking the game on. They back themselves to get the footy. Well, that's a low throw.
The umpires let it go on, as Horsman says, thank you very much. It comes over there. Is it Donovan? Gets the kick down, but it's well cut off by South Bunbury, just inside the defensive 50. Just looking for the right option as he comes down once again right in front of the the commentary box. Looking there for Bain. Comes over to Crane, who's been good over to Horsman, but the ball's well spoilt.
That was a nice bit of smother, wasn't it? Robbie Kemp put his hands right on. Horsman's got a big leg to swing past there, and he threw his arms at it. So well done to young Robbie.
Ball's thrown in right in front of the commentary box. Over the back was Yakis. The ball's one down, but the ball's tied up. And the umpire will come and throw it in. 32 minutes into this first quarter with South Bunbury holding a 1-point lead as Yakis once again wins the ball down over to Chitty. Back over to Crane. It comes over there to Higgins. Back to Yakis, who was just standing there breathing some air in. Sachin Radecki gets the ball down there. It's Anderson Goodwin. Goodwin's got the leg speed. He picks the ball up, gets a nice bounce, puts the ball down there in the direction of Cummings, but it's over his head. It could run through, and I don't think South Bunbury have touched that as the ball's bounced 2 or 3 different ways and gone over for a terrific goal by Billy Goodwin.
Billy Goodwin, you've just put your hand up for the WA Carpet Supermarket Goal of the Day nomination.
To Billy Goodwin, he snapped that from outside 50, and on the third bounce the defender said, I'll get this one on the fourth, but it just kept bouncing away and went through for a goal. So terrific goal. And on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, Margaret River rests the lead back from South Bunbury, 4 goals 6:30 to South Bunbury 4 goals 1:25.
Magnificent time of the day to play a league game, 2:10. It is an absolute, the vision out there is absolutely superb. It's picturesque even, Weaver.
Picturesque. Even us on live stream, picturesque. Depends how many beers you had. Once again, it's in the middle of the ground. Yakis wins the ball out. It comes to Spence, who's been terrific. Beautiful looking left foot kick in the direction of Morgan. He's well spoilt there. The ball comes over in the direction of Anderson. In comes Cook. Comes out to Goyder. Gets a terrific handball over to Wesley Higgins, and Higgins looks downfield. And the ball's cut off by Kemp. And at quarter time, the Augusta Margaret River Hawks take a slender lead, 4 goals 6:30 to the South Bunbury Tigers, 4 goals 1:25. What an entertaining first quarter of footy, Crane.
You hit the nail on the head there, Weaver. Absolutely, wasn't it? A bit shaky at first. Quite a few turnovers from both sides, but pretty entertaining and a close score to boot. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for quarter 2. 2 hands oval for SEN Spirits coverage of the Southwest Football League. Thanks to Hyundai, pre-end of financial year sales on now, and Recycling Made Easy, cashforcans.com. Well, it is quarter time. South Bunbury 4 goals 1:25. They trail AMR 4 goals 6:30. In a quarter that never really, there was a lot of turnovers, but the pressure was pretty fierce there, Nigel.
Oh, it sure was, and Margaret River on top, probably halfway through that quarter. They had all the play. They just couldn't finish off most of their forward entries. So then all of a sudden, South Bunbury kicked 3 in a row and hit the lead just before quarter time, and Margaret River got one back just before the end of the quarter from Goodwin. So terrific pressure by Margaret River, but they just want to make sure that every time they go forward and they have some good shots on goal, that they get full value for those entries. Otherwise, South Bunbury, as we know, and if you've spoken about Croney, they'll come back and they'll snatch one that, they only got to be in front at the end, don't they?
Well, it's 10 shots to 5 at the moment, and there's not much difference. Goal scorers for South Bunbury, 2 to Jace Cormack, 1 to Kate Siska, and 1 to Reese Crawford. And for AMR, we have 1 to George, 1 to Donaldson, 1 to Morgan, and 1 to Billy Goodwin, who was a pretty handy goal. Don't forget, Weaver, we're looking for a WA Carpet Supermarket Goal of the Day. Just about to start the second quarter. Thanks to the Harvey Norman Superstores Bunbury. Soon second quarter action will get underway as players are just making their way out. I think both coaches, Weaver, would have been just said we need a bit more run. And a bit, especially from the South Bunbury, that run from behind's their key. When they do that, they look very good. When they get stagnant, it all stops, and AMR take advantage of it.
Oh, they sure do, and I think they got that run when they got 3 goals in a row. They played on at all costs, and Margaret River looked a bit stale, but
this is SEN Spirit and Nigel Reeves for second quarter action.
The ball's thrown back up in the middle. No ruckman wins it. It comes out there in the direction of Sean Crane, who was terrific in that first quarter.
Oh, we might have copped one under there.
Umpire just comes in and throws the ball up. Yakis goes up unattended, but rins it straight down there to Nordell. He gets the ball onto his boot in the direction of Wiskin and Siska. Could have been a free kick paid there. Over to Mitchell Payne. Out to Ethan Nordell, who was terrific in that first quarter. Gets the ball onto his left foot in the direction of Johnson. And Blaine Johnson will have a shot on goal from just inside 50 on a 45-degree angle and right behind this one here, Craney.
Tell you what, there was a bit went in on that centre circle before the start of that quarter. And Blaine Johnson. A very good full forward is Blaine Johnson. Let's see how his kicking goes this afternoon.
Johnson crosses a 50. Ball's trying to come back. It's trying. It just didn't have the distance.
Oh, I reckon Cormac's got a... No.
Umpire sees that it's a rush behind.
Jace Cormac's feet were in a flurry down there, just trying to get boot on ball. Just pulled up a little bit short, the Johnson kick.
The two shots we've seen from that position have gone right to left, and that one went left to right. As the ball's brought back in from Margaret River.
What does that tell us, Weaver?
It tells us we don't know anything, and the wind might have changed.
I'll just head out to Jared O'Brien. He knows the directions around this oval pretty easy.
Ball comes over there to Siska.
It's good if he hasn't got headphones on. He can't respond to me.
The ball will be thrown in just inside South Bunbury's 50 as they look to apply the pressure early in the second quarter. Yakis is in front position, wins the ball down. It goes there in the direction of Mitchell Bain. He gets a handball out. It comes back out there to Crawford. Crawford with his trusty left foot brings the ball in and it finds Bodie Nordell still 60 metres out from goal. He looks to the teeth of the goal, asking a fair bit of Cormac. Over the back, the mark should have been taken there by Tyson Lane, who missed an easy one. Back out to Ethan Nordell. He keeps the ball in play.
Yeah, Tyson Lane had that all the way, didn't he? He had a nice little block from the Nordells and then just popped off his chest at the last minute.
The ball will be thrown in about 20 metres out from South Bunbury's goal. They've had all the play early in this second quarter. Yakis gets in front, wins it once again down to Spence. Bounces over the head of Anderson, comes over there to Morgan. He gets a handball back to Anderson. And the umpire said you've thrown the ball. Plays on advantage. And the ball is cut off inside 50 by Margaret River.
Bit of feeling in the game started this second quarter.
Ball comes in the direction of the commentary box there, looking there for Max Spivey. And the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be thrown in. Right on centre wing. Little bit of feeling early there. Sean Crane, he's just a fiery little ant, isn't he? Alan.
Yeah, mum's side.
It's good to have feeling. The ball's thrown in. Yakis v Horsman. Yakis wins the ball down once again. It comes over the back there to Jack Wright. He gets a handball over us a fair bit there of Mitchell Bain. Bain gets some sort of handball out. It comes over. He's paid advantage here as it comes to Reece Crawford. It's just him and the goals, and Crawford has a shot on goal and he's kicked it out on the full. No pressure at all there on Crawford as he kicked one late in that first quarter. Should have had two. Probably could have had a bounce and ran all the way up to the goal square. But
he didn't get close on that one after a magnificent first goal, did Crawford.
As Ullman brings the ball in, goes outside 50. Front position there is Thomas Galloway. Could have been paid the mark, but the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. 60 metres out from South Bunbury's goal is Yakis v Horsman. Horsman wins the ball down. It comes over there to Shanahan. Shanahan gets a kick out. It's cut off there by Jay Wright. Jay Wright drives the ball back in once again, looking for Johnson. It's over the back. Numbers even here as in comes Payne. And Payne's given away the free kick.
I think it might have been...
Payne's given away the free kick. It's just a couple of decisions here we're not quite sure of, and I don't think the players are either. It's Ethan Nordell will have a shot on goal from about 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
South are coming out with a different attitude in this quarter, haven't they? They've had a lot of the footy.
And this is one guy that's had a fair bit of the footy in the opening quarter and a little bit of this game. Ethan Nordell. Deliberate shot on goal from 35 metres out. Pushes the ball out. That's a terrific kick. Terrific kick there by Nordell as he opens the scoring up for South Bunbury in the second quarter, and on the Southwest Eyes Zuzu scoreboard. No, it's not. It's a Harvey Norman Electrical scoreboard in the second quarter. They go to 5 goals to 32.
He's a fairly tall sort of forward, but he's also mobile and good on the ground. So if you you've got to send a match out to him. He's tall enough to get him, but agile enough to get around. And that was a terrific kick. He learnt from the first one by AMR, dragged that in nicely.
A terrific finish there. So they're just getting themselves in the right position to win these free kicks, these 50-50 free kicks. And a terrific effort there by Nordell. Once again, the ball's back in the middle. Yakas versus Nordell. It comes back out. Yakas wins the ball down in the direction of Fisher. He puts the ball on boot. Scrappy looking kick inside, forward 50. The ball's one forward there. Comes over the back to Spence. Spence, it's a heavy hit. Comes back out there to... Is it Goodwin? Goodwin, the goal kicker from the second quarter. That's another terrific bounce. I reckon he's got
that. No, there's a kick in the goal square to
I thought
Rocco Versace.
Immediate adversary to our right was suggesting it was very hot in here, but he's seen a free kick as Versace. He was terrific in that first quarter as well. Brings the ball back in and finds Jay Wright still in defensive 50. He goes down the outer side of the ground, misses his target there, comes over the back. And Waldrott takes a terrific contested mark. Over to Crawford, who's been prominent halfway through that first quarter and early in the second. Over there, the handball comes out. Over to Ullman. Ullman receives the handball out the back of the pack and gets the ball down. Bounces in front of Morgan. Morgan back on the scene there. Could have been tackled without the ball. Tries to tie the ball up now. He could be in trouble, but South Bunbury have the numbers. It's Nordell. Bodie tries to win the ball out, but in comes Morgan again, and the ball's tied up about 70 metres out from AMR's goal.
Plenty of numbers back by then by AMR. They worked the ball pretty well.
Horseman one down once again to Yakas, comes over to Morgan. There is it. I think it's Shanahan. He tries to win the ball out over the Crawford, and the ball's tied up once again. Basically in the same position, about 70 metres out from AMR's goal.
Tell you what, the players are wearing down pretty quick from up here, Weaver.
Horseman wins the ball out. It comes over there in direction of Chitty, the skipper for South Bunbury. And once again, the ball's tied up.
We're looking for a Bunbury Mower Service tackle of the game, a CPR Outdoors mark of the day, and a WA Carpet Supermarket goal of the day.
One there by Yakas. I'm not sure how the umpire seen that free kick. He was looking away. He might have caught one in the contest, and the ball's come out to Siska. He gives it over there to Horsman. So Horsman will take the relieving free kick out of that ruck contest. Looking inside now and finds Chitty. Still about 70 metres out from AMR's goal. Just look to find targets here. It comes out to Galloway, who's been terrific so far throughout the whole game. So Galloway just slowing the ball down, being called to play on now. Nelly kicks into the man on the mark. The ball goes over. Could have been paid a mark. It comes back to Chitty. Chitty gets the ball out there to Higgins.
That was a clever kick by Higgins.
The handball on straight away from Nordell over to Cormac. Cormac, a beautiful looking kick into Johnson. Terrific work there by South Bunbury.
Young Higgins down here. He was going to handball and caught out of sort of his eye a player on in the middle, and it was absolutely superb because he's actually set up this shot for goal for Blaine Johnson.
So Johnson, the terrific lead, terrific finish there from Cormac to spot him up. And Johnson will come in from about 48 metres out, directly in front. Deliberate shot on goal, crosses the 50 now, puts the ball towards the goal. That's a terrific kick. Terrific kick there by Blaine Johnson. Finishes off some really good work there by South Bunbury as they found numbers and loose men in the middle of the ground. And as Craney said, Higgins, instead of handballing, spotted that kick up in the middle to Nordell.
I think that come from Cormac, didn't it?
Cormac,
we're just looking at the replay there. Well, we know the class of Jace Cormac. He's been in everything this afternoon as well. He's having a bit of a run in the middle as we speak, so not a bad centre line up for him. Young Pedley's back in to try and null the influence of Yakas. Kieran Yakas,
so
of course,
Bunbury
the big AMR ruckman.
Extend that lead out to 8 points on the Harvey Norman Electrical scoreboard. 6 goals, 238 to 4 goals, 630 as Yakas once again wins the ball down and receives the free kick for being taken high. So right in the middle of the ground is Yakas. Brings the ball in there looking for Anderson. Goes over his head. He's set upon there by Ethan Nordell, but the ball spills out to Ben Watson. Watson gets a kick inside 50, comes back to Watson. Watson has a deliberate shot on goal. He's had a deliberate shot on goal, Oh, and the bounce doesn't go Augusta Margaret River's way this time, but it comes back to Spence, and Spence on his left foot snaps truly from 25 metres out to get Augusta Margaret River's first goal of the board in the second quarter. Terrific effort there by Watson to follow up his first kick. Score of the second quarter, 5 goals, 6-36, trailing South Bunbury 6 goals, 2-38 by 2 points.
The game has lifted a level too. It's got a lot cleaner. It was a bit turnover city in the first quarter. There was a lot of mistakes being made. Now the players are settled in. They're starting to open it up. And that was just a force by AMR. They kept the ball alive, and a terrific finish by young Spence.
He's a terrific
I call
player.
most people young because they're all young compared to me, Weave.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, mate. Ball's back in the middle. Pedley versus Yakas. Yakas once again wins the ball down. It comes over to Fisher. Just chucks the ball onto his boot inside 50. It comes back there to Watson, who set up that last goal for Margaret River. Handball comes out, but it's cut off there by Versace. He comes down there. I think he's looking for his captain in Chitty. And the ball goes out of bounds right in front of the commentary box. So young Watson there, he's been good the last couple of minutes. He's really got himself involved with all Margaret River's forays forward. So keep an eye on him. The ball will be thrown in right in front of us here, Croney. Yakas v Pedley. Yakas has been terrific. They wrestle, comes down to Yakas, no one wins it. Directly, he comes over there to Cormac. The umpire's seen a free kick.
He's had a big influence on the game, the big ruckman.
He sure has, and they're a different team when he's out on the ground. As the ball is, the relieving kick there for Margaret will be taken by Spivey. The ball lands short, it comes over to Anderson. Ooh. He had no one to give it to, gives it straight to Pedley. Over there to Bain, but it comes back to Spivey. He puts the ball onto his boot there, looking for Cummings. Goes over his head, possibly could have been taken high. Back to Cummings, comes back over to Watson. Once again, he's been terrific. Gets a handball into the middle of the ground to his teammate, but the bounce eludes him.
Bounce.
Gets
terrific tackle though.
Tackle there, and Yakas is there on the scene as a ruck rover. Back over there, I think it's to Donovan. Donovan wheels onto his left foot, looking there for Spence, and finds Jed Spence about 35 metres out from goal on a 45-degree angle.
Ben Watson too, he's going to go down as a Bunbury Mower service tackle of the game because he actually stopped that South Bunbury move, and it ended up in a shot for goal on the other side.
And Yakas has that uncanny ability for a big man to just get himself in the right spot. And Jed Spence, the kicker of the last goal for AMR, will have a shot from about 35 metres out, 45-degree angle, to go back-to-back goals for the Augusta Margaret River Hawks to put them once again back in front. Crosses the 50, comes in. It's a good-looking kick. It's a great-looking kick. The umpire watches it sail straight over his hat. And Jed Spence kicks 2 in a row for the Augusta Margaret River Hawks. And once again, on the Harvey Norman Electrical scoreboard, they go to 6 goals, 6-42, leading the South.
Nice little score on the board. A good young Jed Spence, he knows where the goals are. There's a lot of good players out through both sides here, putting everything in. No one's holding back, and the game is definitely tidied up in this second quarter.
He's got a very impressive resume, Jed Spence. I had a look at it last week. Very impressive, and he's doing everything right for the Augusta Margaret River Hawks. Once again, Yakas up against Pedley. Yakas wins the ball down. It comes over there in the direction of Spivey, who's been good. Back to Anderson. He tries to get a handball off. Gets some sort of kick onto his boot. He's got his teammates there. I think it's Spence. But Fisher comes in and holds up Crawford, and the ball will be thrown up about 60 metres out from AMR's goal. No one wins the ruck knock clearly. It comes over there to Nordell, over to Chitty, the skipper for the South Bunbury Tigers. He gets a ball down there in the direction of Waldrott. He uses his bulk, follows up there to Chitty. The handball's just a little bit loose, but the umpire's seen a free kick. And Chitty will take the relieving free kick in the middle of the ground. He gets the handball over to Mitchell Bain. He drives the ball in the direction of Cormac, and it goes over his head and out of bounds about 30 metres out from South Bunbury's goal. Might have caught one there, Jace Cormac. A little knee in the...
I tell you what, there's a bit going on out here. It's not for the faint-hearted, but that's what you want. game of Southwest League football to be.
Ball's thrown back in. Pedley makes front position, gets the ball down there in the direction of Chitty. He gets a handball out there to Higgins, but the ball once again goes out of bounds about 60 metres out from South Bunbury's goal.
There's a few players taking a big deep breath out there, hence the pace of this game.
Well, the pace and the physical pressure from both teams is
definitely lifted in this second quarter.
It sure has. Ball's thrown in once again. Yackers gets front position in the direction of Anderson. He gets the handball out there to Donovan. It comes back out to Chitty. The ball spills out. Kick for there in the direction of Goodwin. Goodwin tries to get a handball out. Could have been dropping the ball. And I think it's Mitchell Bain with his bulk. Uses his bulk to get the ball in forward over to Blaine Johnson. He gets a handball out. That's unusual for a big power forward, a handball, hey, wouldn't you think? Wesley Higgins tries to soccer the ball in, but it's cut off there. Comes over to Ellis, back over to Shanahan. Shanahan out to Payne, the big fella. He tries to palm him off. Possibly didn't, and the umpire sees it that way, and Pedley will take the relieving free kick. He gets a handball over to Galloway, puts him under a little bit of pressure, but he gets it onto his left foot there, looking for Cormac, gets his man out of the way. On. The ball's bouncing towards goal, and Waldrop runs onto an open goal. The bounce favours him, and he puts it through, and once again, South Bunbury hit the front. 7-2, on the Harvey Norman electrical scoreboard to the Augusta Margaret River.
A few changes on the Harvey Norman interchange bench. South need to work on these clearances a little bit because AMR have got them. The stats read are well and truly in their favour.
Sure, that's terrific.
Thanks, Jared O'Brien, for doing the stats this afternoon.
Terrific effort there by
Jace Jared
Cormac.
O'Brien.
It was Jared.
Terrific effort, sorry, mate.
Terrific effort there by Jace Cormac with his body work. He's not the biggest bloke on the field, but just got his direct opponent out of the way, and all of a sudden Walrup was in the right position, right in front of goal.
Very rarely gets beaten, does Jace Cormac. He'd be a nightmare to play on.
It's Cummings v Horsman. Horsman wins the ball down. It goes in the direction of Nordell.
Well, that's not a bad move, actually, Big Cummings. He just joined South Bunbury this year. So get a look at him in the ruck.
Once again, Cummings wins the ball down this time. I think it's Toby Hawkins that might have taken that ruck knock for South Bunbury. Cummings tries to get the ball on boot. It comes over to Sean Crane. And once again, the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Middle of the ground here. South Bunbury holding a 2-point lead halfway through the second quarter. Hawkins wins the ball down. It comes over to Nordell. He just throws the ball under the boot. Mark's taken there by Finn Baskerville. He gets a handball out. But the ball has been turned over and in the middle of the ground, just left the centre towards South Bunbury's end. The umpire once again will come in and throw the ball up. Cummings, Hawkins wins the ball down over to Nordell. No one wins it cleanly. Comes back over there to Donovan, could have been taken high, and the umpire sees it that way. I know it's Ben Watson. So Watson will take the relieving free kick in the middle of the ground. He's been terrific in this second quarter. Brings it across here right in front of the commentary box. Terrific lead there, and Shanahan takes the mark. He plays on straight away, goes back inside and finds Watson.
That's the way to get your stats up. The old 1-2.
Watson right on wing. He's going to switch play and go right across the other side of the ground.
They've got men on everywhere here.
Look at that, he's Rod Kemp, who done a terrific smother in the first quarter. Comes over there to Oldman. Oldman's got space to burn. He's got space to burn. The way up is on, and he comes inside and finds Payne. Payne's about 55 metres out, looks for the pass. That's a terrific lead. Terrific lead and a terrific kick there by Payne. I think Bo Morgan has taken the mark about 40 metres out from goal.
That whole build-up was outstanding. Their kicking was perfect, and they created the overlap to work down there. They had 2 or 3 options going into that forward line, and Bo Morgan's the one that ended up for a shot.
So in comes Morgan, doesn't waste any time, kicks from 45 metres. He's pulled that one. He's pulled that kick very badly, just snuck through for a point.
Deserved better than that, didn't they, the build-up for that? I love the way that players nowadays just take the game on.
They refused to go along Augusta Margaret River and switch play through a chain of short kicks, and all of a sudden the whole ground opened up. As Goyder will bring the ball back into play. He looks to come right in front of the commentary box, plays on outside the goal square, drives the ball right in the middle of the ground looking for Chitty. Goes over the back there and finds Ivy. Ivy's tackled and the ball's held up, and the umpire will come and throw it up right in the middle of the ground.
That new rule, Weaver, where you can run out of the square, that night puts it in the centre circle.
Yakas could have been held, gets the handball over. I think it went to Nordell, just got his colours mixed up a little bit there. Comes back out to Spence, who's been terrific all game. He's got 2 goals in this quarter. He gets the ball over there to Rogers. Rogers gets around his opponent, puts it onto his left foot. Versace leads the way.
Oh, nice
but cutting across
Crawford.
the front of the pack is Reece Crawford.
Are we giving young Reece a chance for the CPR Outdoors Mark of the Day?
Well, I think so.
Well, not much else.
Yeah, that's right. Put his name down as he comes down the wing. They're looking and he finds it's Ivy. He's been pretty good in this second quarter. Puts the ball down there in the direction of Chetty. Yakas was there, but Chetty said, no, Yakas, you're not coming in today. It comes out to Wiskin, I think it was, over to Anderson. Anderson gets the handball back out, looking for, I think it was Goodwin. He gets the kick away, but Crane's in the right place at the right time. Over to Nordell. Nordell comes out to Galloway. He goes onto his left foot, looking there for Cormac, and Cormac takes a terrific mark about 40 metres out, and will have a deliberate shot on goal directly in front.
I'm starting to look for CPR Outdoor Centre. I'm putting him down as well, Weaver.
Well, he just looks dangerous up forward, doesn't he? I think he's just got the smarts to always be in the play. He doesn't need a lot of the footy, Jace Cormac.
But he always
very,
brings
very
the
damaging.
ball. If he doesn't mark it, he brings it down to ground level, and he's very dangerous down there.
Now, has he got the leg? He's going to kick from about 48 metres out. This is going to test him. Just crosses 50, puts the ball onto the boot. I don't think it's going to have the distance. It's going to be close.
It's
going to be
distance.
close. Never in doubt. I never had any doubt, Croney. I don't know what you were thinking of. But Jace Cormac finishes off
I'd
a
already
terrific
wrote it
passage
down.
of play. As he puts through his... Three.
Just have to go around the ground. Thanks to Geograph Civil. As soon as we get a score update from the other grounds, we'll let you know.
22 minutes into the second quarter here, the South Bunbury Tigers stretch that margin to 7 points in what's been a terrific game of footy, with Jace Cormac proving a handful down forward to kick his third of the game to get that margin out to 7 points. As Yakas v Pedley in the middle of the ground. Yakas wins the ball down. It comes over to Fisher. He wheels around onto his left foot, looking there for Anderson. Anderson couldn't quite pick the ball up. It comes off to Galloway.
Don't know
he
where he
tries
was
to
going
use
then.
his right foot, and he's a better left foot kick, and Donaldson takes the relieving mark on the outer side of the ground. He has
Didn't really go a long way, did it, Weaver?
It didn't. I didn't think it was 15, but he's been terrific all day.
Oh, a man behind here,
Galloway.
though.
I think it's Anderson who's first on the scene. He snaps on goal. The ball's going to go to the teeth of the goal. Versace's in the right position to mark the footy, and he's been terrific all day. Rocco Versace takes a relieving mark right at the top of the goal square. He gets the ball over to Goyder, who's also been terrific, and he kicks short and finds Jay Wright still inside defensive 50. Jay Wright's been good too. He switches the ball across the other side of the ground, and it's Jack Wright, his brother. He comes forward into the middle of the ground, and Galloway, who's been terrific all day, gets the handball on, back over to Versace, tries to spot up Nordell in the middle of the ground and beats about 3 or 4 players. First man on the scene is Yakas, who's been terrific. Picks the ball up, throws the ball onto the boot,
played, big fella.
and finds Anderson. He comes out wide there and finds Watson. Augusta Margaret River have the numbers here. He's got a man short. He pops the ball over. He can play on if he wants to. And that is Miles Bridgeland. Bridgeland brings the ball back into the middle. He had numbers, but the ball goes over their head, and then comes Goyder. He knocks the ball out in the direction of Crane. Crane has numbers. He uses the ball by foot and goes out wide and finds Toby Hawkins on the far side of the ground. He comes in there looking for Johnson, the boy. He gets a beautiful bounce, does Johnson. He has a shot on goal from 50 metres out, and the ball goes across the face of the goal and goes out of bounds about 10 metres out from South Bunbury's goal.
That's where you get caught out when the turnover's out. Every run runs forward. As soon as the turnover happens, South had the numbers on the way back. Nice inside-out turn by Blaine Johnson. He almost tried to caress that through Weaver, but he didn't.
He got a beautiful bounce for a full forward.
It wasn't too bad, was it?
The ball's thrown back in. It's Yakas versus Pedley. The ball favours Pedley. It comes back over there to Donovan, and he rushes the ball over for a behind. And South Bunbury on the Harvey Norman Electrical scoreboard go to 8 goals 3.51. Augusta Margaret River 6 goals 7.43.
Thanks to SKG. Get your scans done at SKG. Oh, he's not going anywhere with that. And like a good neighbour, MGIB is there. MGIB.
So the ball will be thrown up about 30 metres out from South Bunbury's goal. The ball's won down by Yackers, puts it in a dangerous position. A shot on goal there, but I think it was right. He missed the ball. It comes over there to Ivy. Ivy brings the ball out and finds Watson, who's been terrific for Augusta Margaret River in this second quarter. Just slows the ball down, 25 minutes into the second quarter.
Probably needs a bit of a rest.
Now, tries to go short and finds Anderson. Just about on centre wing is Anderson. He plays on around the man on the mark, runs his full measure, goes in short and finds Morgan. Just working the ball down this side of the ground. Morgan kicks the ball short, finds Shanahan. Shanahan gets the ball back there to Billy Goodwin. Goodwin puts the ball into a position, but Rocco Versace all on his own takes a relieving mark. He goes and switches play across the other side of the ground and finds Sean Crane. Cormac has run hard to the centre wing. The kick is a little bit short of Cormac, but he gets a punch on there in the direction of Nordell, and the umpire's seen a free kick. I know it's Versace that's run down. He's been terrific today, Versace, as he comes in and finds Bodie Nordell just inside the centre square. Nordell drives the ball along there looking for Johnson. It goes over his head. Probably could have been marked there. I think it's his brother. Surely it is. Comes out to Goodwin. Goodwin's got a player here in Morgan, and Morgan takes a relieving mark just outside 50.
Here's the one who got away from Nordell then. He was in perfect position.
That'll be one to be spoken about around the dinner table as Morgan comes down there looking for Cummins.
Almost out on the full, or is it called in? No, out on the full, right in front of us, Weaver.
Relieving kick right in front of the commentary box here to be taken by Thomas Gorda, who's been terrific. Haven't had a lot of work as the siren goes for half-time. On the Harvey Norman Electrical scoreboard, going into half-time, South Bunbury Tigers 8 goals 3.51, leading the Augusta Margaret River Hawks 6 goals 7.43.
Really upped the ante in that quarter, a magnificent quarter of footy, and a very interestingly poised game. We're going to be back in a while for the Hollow half-time Beach Bar and Grill. And welcome back to Hands Oval. It is half-time in the match between South Bunbury and AMR. Thanks to Hyundai, end of financial year sales now on, and cashforcans.com. This is the Hollow Beach Bar and Grill half-time chat. And scores as we see it, South Bunbury lead 8-3-51 to 6-7-43 in a game that was, the first quarter was a bit sloppy, and then it improved a little bit as we went along, Weaver.
Yeah, it did, and plenty of pressure out there still, and a few people blowing a bit of black smoke towards the end of that second quarter, but it's a terrific game of footy, and both teams have had momentum and made the most of them. But yeah, great 4-goal second quarter by South Bunbury. Spence kicked a couple of goals in a row there to keep Margaret River in the game, and looking forward to a really good second half. Just
around the grounds for Geograph Civil, another game going on as we speak, and Bunbury off to a flyer. 4 goals, 1 lead Donnybrook at just the solitary point. So still a long way to go in that game. And in the earlier games today, South Bunbury 13-11 in the Colts 89, defeated AMR 5-5-35, and in the reserves 12-11, South Bunbury 83, AMR 2-14. The game, Weaver, South Bunbury and AMR had a lot of the ball in the first quarter, probably didn't put it to the best use, kicked a few points as they were going on, then South fought their way back in. But the game, it was scraggly and they were missing targets, but the game improved in that second quarter.
Yeah, I think South Bunbury maybe a little bit on the back foot with the amount of pressure that Margaret River put on them in the first quarter. They missed a lot of targets, especially going forward, and Margaret River probably should have punished them a lot more. Probably 2 or 3 goals, I reckon, in the first quarter. They should have been a bit more in front. But the second quarter opened up. South Bunbury found their mojo, and all of a sudden they found players across each side of the ground switch play really well, and so did Margaret River for that instance. They, especially that last goal to Spence, they went from one side of the ground to the other with 3 or 4 short kicks, open up a big hole on one side of the ground, and Spence, who's a class act, never let him down in front of goal. So yeah, the game's going to be really interesting going into the second half. 2 really good teams, 2 pretty evenly matched teams. Yackers has been terrific in the centre of the ground for Margaret River. When he comes off, it's a different game for the Margaret River on-ballers, so be interesting to see how that unfolds. Because when he does come off, they just need to pick up that slack or at least halve and match that evenness in the middle of the ground.
They did bring Cummings into the ruck, and he although he didn't go up against Yakas, he showed that he can be one of the float they've done with Horsman and Pedley. So there's a few options for coach Julian Burgess, but I just think the ball use is a big key, and you've got to remember a lot of these sides are only, or this is South Bunbury's only second game for the season, and only third game, so it's still early, but I'll tell you what, if a third quarter lives up to that second quarter and we keep improving, we're going to be in for one ripper of a game of footy. This is the Hollow Beach Bar and Grill halftime chat. We'll be back for the second half of footy. For SEN Spirit's coverage of the Southwest Football League. Very interesting first half. On the scoreboard, South Bunbury 8 goals 3-51. They lead AMR 6 goals 7-43. Now, a big moment for Buckingham the Butchers, which is inside the Bunbury Plaza. If you ever want a good steak or sausage, go to Buckingham the Butchers. It's a magnet. What was a big moment in that first half that you've seen?
Well, I didn't see it, but I heard it, Croney, was the tackle in the middle of the ground, which Yakas was on the end of the spilt ball, went across the other side of the ground, and all of a sudden Spence got hit lace out about 35 metres out and made sure of that goal. So
that was off a Ben Watson tackle.
Ben Watson tackle, who was also terrific in that second quarter for AMR. So great effort there, across the ground, into Spence, and Spence is a class act, and we've spoken about him a fair bit in the first half, never let his teammates down and put it through truly.
So that was a big moment, according to Weaver, for Buckingham's the Butchers. This is the Hollow Beach Bar halftime show. Both sides back out on the ground. So already I should imagine the coaches would have had a nice little chat to the players as they were in the rooms. Injury reports, get the right results every time with SKG Radiology. I see Bo Morgan just wander out there. He's out with the group though. He looked a bit ginger around the legs, but I should imagine there'd be a few sore boys out there. It's pretty fierce and physical.
Yeah, it's a quick game of footy, physical, a lot of run, especially when teams switch play. So I'd say fitness will be a big key factor as the game wears on, especially in this second half. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. But he's playing a terrific game down forward and did a lot of work late in that second quarter in the defensive end of the ground. So be interested to see how he goes, but other than that, I haven't seen anyone come off with some really serious injuries, so both teams should have a full list to rotate through in this second half.
Thanks for Cash the Cans too, cashforcans.com.au. I keep them pretty busy out there actually, Weaver. And
cool drink.
I know, free end of financial year sale is on now. We are not far away from a start of the third quarter, thanks to LJ Hooker. Property Southwest is expanding. They now have offices in Dunsborough, Busselton, Collie, and of course Bunbury. So it'll be interesting to see how both these sides, as you said, it was a very physical, hard run first half. Just coming out of the change rooms, it's always a little bit difficult to get the legs going, but I should imagine an early start, a fast start would be very profitable.
Yeah, I think so. And both teams, when they have found spaces across the whole ground, it's really clean footy and setting up their forwards for pretty reasonable shots on goal. So can both teams maintain that pressure? Be interesting to see how that goes, because there has been a lot of pressure in the first hour of footy. So I don't know which team I favour from here. I know South Bunbury got a slight lead, but Margaret River hung in there, and their pressure, especially in that first quarter, was terrific, which put South Bunbury under a lot of pressure. And whether they can maintain that and get it back to that pressure will keep them in the game for longer. Interesting
that coach Julian Burgess for South Bunbury has got Pedley on the bench. He's pushed Horsman to the back, and Cummings will start in the ruck for the Tigers. He had a bit of a stint there just before half time, so bit of pressure on him as umpire Michael Hearn holds the ball aloft. This is SEN Spirit. Third quarter action, and Nigel Reeves.
Once again, Yakas wins the ball down in the direction there of Ivy. It comes back out to Cormac, who was terrific in that second quarter, 3 goals to his name. Back out to Watson, who also was terrific, and he gets the ball in and finds Goodwin. Goodwin tries to get a handball over to Donovan. Misses his mark, comes over to Crawford. He's well tackled there, could have been done holding the ball, and the umpire sees it that way, and Billy Goodwin. That's almost, I'm putting that down for a Bunbury Motorsaurus tackle of the day too, contender. He looks there for, it was Byron George who missed an easy chest mark. The ball comes back into the middle of the ground, and Hawkins takes a relieving mark. He plays on straight away to Goyder. Goyder goes over to Crane. Crane comes back in there to Nordell. Back to Crane. Over to Crane to Cormac. Cormac gets around a couple of players. Over to Galloway, who's been terrific in that first half of footy. Puts it out to a disputed ball. Comes over to Wiskin. Wiskin for Augusta Margaret River. Gets over to Anderson. He's well tackled. Could have been done holding the ball. Over to Ethan Nordell. He comes inside once again. Over to Brother Bodie.
Gee, they're just racking up their stats here. How you going, Nige?
And then Goyder takes a relieving mark after we've gone around in circle work. Still inside defensive 50.
That ball didn't go far, but there's a heap of possessions.
Goyder goes short and find Horsman. Still inside defensive 50 as Horsman plays on, comes down right in front of centre wing, in front of the commentary box. It goes over Crawford's head, over to Goodwin. He puts his teammate under pressure. It comes back to Yakas, who's been terrific for the Hawks. Gets a short kick in. And it's marked there by Donaldson. Donaldson also goes short, finds Morgan. It's a terrific pickup. Could have been taken high right in front of the umpire. Doesn't see it that way. Comes over to Ivy. He has a shot on goal from 50. The ball bounces. And bounces through.
What a start from AMR. That was a terrific goal. He was right on the 50 paint when he let that one go. And it bounced through. Great call too there, mate. It did.
And on the LJ Hook at a property Southwest scoreboard, South Bunbury 8 goals 351, and the Augusta Margaret River Hawks, they narrow that margin 7 goals 749.
Yeah, we went round and round and round in circles, and all of a sudden Spivey decided, he's had enough of this, and whacked it through for a goal. And I'll tell you what, we'll just about put that down. It's a contender for the WA Carpet Supermarket goal of the day.
Well, after run one centre bounce, the Pedley's back in the middle, but it's one down there by Yakas. It comes over to Spence. He could have been tackled high there by Crawford.
That was a quick move, wasn't it?
It was. And Spence will take the relieving kick in the middle of the ground. Been terrific today, Spence, with a couple of goals. Reels around, plays around the man on the mark there, looking for Morgan. He's in front of his direct opponent in Versace. The ball spoilt down. Comes over there to Cormac, who's been terrific all day. And the ball's tied up. And the umpire will come and throw it up about 40 metres out from AMR's goal.
So Pedley's gone into the ruck, as you said, after about 4 minutes.
So it's Cummings there versus Waldrott. The ball's still in dispute. The ball's in the ground there. Once again, Stacks on the mill, and the ball will be thrown up. Basically in the same position as Cormac gets himself up off the ground there with George. About 45 metres out from AMR's goal. Cummins wins the ball down to no one in particular. The ball's still in dispute. There it comes over there to Jay Wright. And once again, the umpire, earning his keep right at the minute, will throw the ball up once again. Cummings v Waldrott. Waldrott wins the ball down. It comes over there to Morgan. He gets a kick around the corner. It goes across the face of goal, through for a minor score. Margin now 1 point on the LJ Hooker Property Southwest scoreboard. Augusta Margaret River 7 goals 850 to South Bunbury 8 goals 351.
Quickly around the grounds through thanks to Geograph Civil. Bunbury 5 goals 434. They lead Donnybrook at the 1 point.
So once again, Goyder weighs up his option. He crosses over the goal square, runs his full measure and drives the ball long on the out into the middle of the ground, looking for Versace. The umpire's seen a free kick, play an advantage to South Bunbury as Crane gets the ball out, the handball over to Ritchie. Comes back there to Nordell. He switches play, looking to the far side of the ground there for Mitchell Bain. He's been a little bit quiet today, gets around his opponent, just gets the ball onto the boot, looking there for Crawford, and Crawford will take the mark about 50 metres out from goal, directly in front. Terrific play in the middle of the ground there by Crane to play on straight away. Umpire's seen the advantage, and all of a sudden Crawford will have a shot on goal.
And what that does is put the defence under enormous pressure, because the ball come down there quickly. And Crawford a little bit lucky to be underneath that one. Mitch Bain got caught on the other side, but let's see if his kicking goes this time. We've already got one for the afternoon.
Just on 50, Crawford has a shot on goal. Just goes over his full forward's head there as Waldrott comes in onto the scene, and the ball will be thrown in about 10 metres out from South Bunbury's goal. Great work there from Ethan Nordell. Waited up that he didn't have the leg to make the distance. Switched it over to Bain, and Crawford has a shot on goal. As the ball's thrown in, it's Chitty versus Yakas. I didn't think Chitty was a ruckman, but he is down there.
Well,
wins the ball,
up.
has a shot on goal. Doesn't get enough purchase on it. It comes over to Payne. He gets the ball onto his boot, but it comes back to Johnson. And Johnson snaps on goal. The umpire does a fair bit of work, but he says, no problem here. As Blaine Johnson around his body, over a banana kick on shot on goal. Terrific effort in there.
And fair to say, he was fairly happy with that one, Weaver. He put a nice little celebration without that. Just a ball movement down there by South Bunbury at that time. And this game continues to ebb and flow.
I think Chitty going into the ruck just put Yakas off a little bit, but he's a strong body, Kevin Chitty, and the skipper put it to the teeth of goal, and Johnson just made the most of a very opportunistic area of the ground and put it through for a terrific goal. So once again on the LJ Hooker property Southwest scoreboard, South Bunbury stretched that margin back out to its half-time. 9 goals, 357 to Margaret River, 7 goals, 850. As once again, Yakas wins the ball down in the direction of Spivey. It comes over there to Cormac, could have been kicking in danger. Over to Morgan, back to Yakas. Yakas weighs up his option, a good-looking kick, just falls short of his full forward there in George. Back over the back. It looks like Payne has moved down forward. Or is it Morgan? It was Morgan who pushed the ball over. And the ball will be thrown in about 20 metres out from AMR's goal.
Right in front of the big new scoreboard. Do you like that one, Weaver?
It's impressive. It's impressive. The ball's thrown back in. Cummins versus Horsman. No one wins the ball down directly. It comes back over to George. The handball's out there to Gordo. He just throws the ball onto his boot. Back over there, and Payne's made his way down the ground as a centre half back. Gets Nordell out of the way. It comes over there to Anderson. He throws the ball onto his boot in the direction there of Versace. He tries to win the ball. Handball over back to Morgan. Could have been tackled without it. The umpire doesn't see it that way. In comes Ivy, and he's been paid without the ball.
Not too many people in the stand agreed with that one, did
No,
they, Weaver?
no, it doesn't sound like it. South Bunbury supporters, if we had a mic there, they'd be all for it. As once again, Goyder takes the mark, the short kick. He's going to switch play here, Goyder. He's been terrific all day. He's going to come across this side of the ground and find Bodie Nordell, who's been terrific. He calls his player into the lead there, looking for Jack Wright. It goes over his head, but Jack Wright butters up. Could have been done holding the ball. Gets the handball out, comes over there. Versace's worked his way down the ground. It comes back there to Nordell. He's well tied up. Or was it Bain? And Mitchell Bain. He's been a little bit quiet today. Umpire Judge holding the ball.
As by his standards, normally he's a prolific ball getter. Been well held.
It's Cummings. Puts the ball into the teeth of goal about 30 metres out. The ball's going to drop short. And I think it's Horsman who takes the relieving.
That's young Jack Wright. He read that pretty well.
So he was the one involved in the contest before, but pushed back. It comes over to Goyder, and a terrific kick in the middle of the ground finds Sean Crane. He goes short and finds Galloway. Goes onto his trusty left foot, comes right in front of the commentary box. Jace Cormac got called out of it by Nordell. First on the scene, goes down looking for Cisco. He gets a bad bounce. It bounces there towards Goodwin. Comes back out to Goodwin. No, it's not. It's Shanahan for the AMR Hawks. Puts his teammate under pressure there in Donovan. And the ball will be thrown up about 75 metres out from South Bunbury's goal. Jared Cook it was. Just under a little bit of pressure. The ball's one down there by Pedley. Yakas probably, that's the first one he's lost all day. Cormac gets a handball away, and then the tackle lingered there by Yakas.
He's very good at that, Jace Cormac.
Cormac will have the kick.
Tell you what, he's had a very good day at the office. He's already kicked a few, Jace. 3 off. Oh. And just when you say that, Nigel Reeve gets pinged for holding the ball.
So George runs down. Jace Cormac gets the ball going quick there and finds Spivey. Spivey plays on straight away. Looks down there for his full forward, and that's a terrific mark by Byron George. And George will have a shot on goal just in front of Versace. He's been terrific all day, Versace. It's a pretty good matchup, this one. George, who kicked one in the first quarter from about 45 metres out.
It's a good Southern Lock and Security matchup, that one. It's been a good duel.
He's going to kick from just outside 50 as Versace's about 48 metres out, the man on the mark. So Byron George already won in the first quarter. The second goal for Augusta Margaret River today. It's been an enthralling game. Just crosses 50, gets close to the man on the mark. It's a really good purchase on that.
What, that is a magnificent kick. That is, he kicked that from outside the 50 paint, did Byron George, and that just sailed over the top of the pack. Magnificent kick. A content.
And see what I can do. But that was a terrific kick. A great tackle there by Quinn Donaldson on Jace Cormack. It was, ran him down after he played around the man on the mark. And Donaldson ran him down, played on quickly, and all of a sudden George, who I thought was a little bit close to the man on the mark, but he knew what he was doing and popped a beautiful goal in from 55 metres out.
1 point ball game.
LJ Hooker Property Southwest scoreboard. South Bunbury 9 goals 357 to the Margaret River Hawks 8 goals 856. As the ball's one down once again by Yackers, comes to Spivey over to Waldrott. He gets the ball onto his left foot in the direction of Sean Crane, who's been terrific all day. He lays a terrific tackle. The ball spills out to Chitty. He throws the ball looking for a man in the centre of the ground, and that's Wesley Higgins. He plays on straight away looking for Johnson. It goes over his head. Waldrott's there. Jace Cormack's there. He picks the ball up, gets the handball out to Ethan Nordell. He has a shot on goal from 40 metres out.
Oh, there's another contender.
And the quick response by the South Bunbury Tigers as Cormack gets the handball out to Ethan Nordell, and he made no mistake from 40 metres out directly in front.
It's an absolute beauty now. For what started off a little bit slow, she has upped the ante, and we're just going goal for goal.
And Cormack's very unassuming, but just goes about his business, and everything he does has a touch of class about it. And gave up that last goal from a tackle from behind, and all of a sudden he's made up for it by getting a quick handball out to Nordell, who made no mistake from 40 metres out. LJ Hooker Property Southwest scoreboard. South Bunbury 10 goals 363 to the AMR Hawks 8 goals 856. Ball back in the middle of the ground. It's Yackers versus Nordell, the last goal kicker. He wins the ball down. The ball comes out in the direction of Chitty. First man to get to the ball is Johnson. He gets a handball over to Nordell, who's doing everything at this stage. Back to Chitty. He puts the ball into the teeth of the goal square looking for Cormack. Could have got a free kick. The umpire sees it that way. And Jace Cormack, after you doubted him from 50 in the second quarter, Croney, I reckon he's got the leg here.
Not now. I will back this one in all the way.
He's going to kick from about 45 metres out, going for his 4th goal today, Jace Cormack. 45-degree angle. As he just gets his body in the right position, it's either a mark or a free kick. But Jace Cormack lining up for goal number 4, 45 metres out. Deliberate shot on goal, crosses the 50 now. Ooh, and he's shanked that one.
That was probably one of the worst kicks of his career, I reckon, Jace Cormack.
Normally
a very, very good kick of the footy.
I haven't got much to say about that one, but just come off the side of the boot and the ball's gone out of bounds right near the point post in Margaret River's defensive 50 as the ball's brought back in. And Mitch Ellis just inside the goal square. He goes across the ground again looking for Yackers, sets him up a little bit, but Yackers has been terrific. Took a terrific mark and gets the ball over to Spence. Spence finds Anderson. He gets a handball on there. He should have done better there. I think it was Goodwin. Had a bit more time than he thought, but he butters back up, comes back to him, goes back to Spence, who's been a little bit quiet in this third quarter. Could have got a tackle high, and the umpire sees it that way. And Jed Spence will take the relieving kick on the far side of the ground. Just about centre wing. Yackers waited for the ball. Versace comes over the top. He's been terrific all day. It goes to Ethan Nordell. Nordell tries to get the handball over to Crane. Crane goes to Crawford. Crawford goes back to Nordell. That's Bodie Nordell. He misses his target in Johnson and finds Oldman. The ball's played at a hectic pace here as the ball comes out, and it finds Mitchell Payne right on centre wing in front of the commentary box. He goes inboard and finds Goodwin. Goodwin goes down there looking for his teammate inside 50, which is Byron George. And after his last shot at goal,
I'd stop and have a shot if I was Byron George.
George is going to kick from about 53 or 4 metres out, 45-degree angle.
He was pretty clever there. He dropped in behind the South Bunbury defence and found himself had a bit of pressure from Crawford running into him, but he stayed, kept his eyes on the footy. As Kieran Yackers looks like he's coming off for a bit of a spell on the Harvey Norman interchange bench. A well-deserved spell too, I should imagine.
As George, he'll kick from outside 50, going for his 3rd goal today. Gets to 50. That's a magnificent kick.
It's just tailed to
the right at the end, just through for a minor score.
How's the distance on there? They're like your golf shots, Weaver. They just keep going and going.
Mine drift a little bit more than that. As once again, Goyder brings the ball back in, runs his full measure, goes to the outer side of the ground, looking there for, I think it's Galloway, and Galloway takes the mark. Those two have been terrific today. He goes down the far side of the ground again, looking there for Versace, who's also been terrific. Pushed up from the back line, gets the ball on quick, looking there for Cade Waldrop. Waldrop gets a short kick in, looking for Johnson, and end-to-end stuff by the South Bunbury Tigers. We'll see Johnson from about 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle have a shot on goal to increase this margin once again out to 12 points.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to zip from one end to the other in modern-day footy, does it?
You get guys like Goyder and Galloway that have a leg that, you can carry 50 or 60 metres. All of a sudden, the whole ground opens up very quickly. As in comes Johnson, deliberate shot on goal. The umpire does not move.
Not even move.
Blaine Johnson gets the instant replay for the South Bunbury Tigers. J Hooker Property Southwest scoreboard sees them push out to a 12-point lead as they go.
Plenty of space around it, making it very hard to defend. And there's not a lot of defence going on there, Weaver, because the ball is absolutely just swinging from one end to the other. A turnover one end, and you'll see a side having a shot for goal the other.
You can just see where Versace's run back to. He was the person that got that into Waldrop to hit
he
Johnson on the chest.
He covers an enormous amount of... That's what you want from modern-day defenders, isn't it? Thanks to MGIB, like a good neighbour, MGIB. And get your scans done at SKG.
Once again, Nordell wins the ball down. It comes over to Goodwin, who sharks the ball, looking out there for Radic. Radic has got a couple of metres on his direct opponent, gets the handball over in the direction of Anderson. Anderson missed the handball. Just hit him just a little bit low, but the ball's tied up about 70 metres out.
Even little
goal.
Stuff like that, Weaver, just enough tackle to affect the handball, and that's all you need, isn't it? Just to put him off a little bit. He hung on. Would have been easy to drop the tackle, but it stuck.
The amount of pressure on the ground, every handball kick and mark needs to hit its target as the ball comes out there in the direction of Shanahan. It's over to Crane. Crane gets the handball out to Galloway. He gets the ball onto his left leg. Morgan's in a good spot here to take the mark and couldn't do, and the ball's rushed out of bounds. Centre wing on the far side of the ground here at Hands Oval, with South Bunbury holding a 12-point lead 18 minutes into the third quarter.
Where's Tyson Lane? We need a mark of the day somewhere here, Weaver. A CPR outdoors, somebody?
Well, depending what the voucher is, Crane, and you can go and have a kick and put that down, mate, at three-quarter time.
I reckon if we just took one a mark, that'll be the mark of the day.
As Nordell wins the ball down, but it's sharked there by Margaret River, comes in the direction of Horsman, pushes his opponent under the play. Oh. The ball goes over the top there, and I think it's Goodwin. And the instant reply to the Augusta Margaret River Hawks through Billy Goodwin. Once again, a backline player just coming down and setting up a goal. J Hooker Property Southwest scoreboard in the third quarter.
Ben Watson that kicked that one, Weaver.
11 goals, 369. Augusta Margaret River Hawks draw one back to within 6 points. 9 goals, 963.
The ball is absolutely whizzing, and when it gets down that quick, the defenders on a hiding to nothing. The ball of the bounce picked it up nicely. I think that Ben Watson actually completed the goal, and a nice finish. His first for the afternoon.
He's been good since quarter time, Ben Watson. Ball back in the middle. Nordell versus Yakis. Yakis wins the ball down. It goes towards Siska, and Siska's won a free kick in the middle of the ground. Pretty sure Siska's got the job on Spence at the moment. He's doing a terrific job, especially after half-time. Gets the handball out there to Ethan Nordell. Gets around his opponent. Drives the ball along there looking for Johnson. He's got front position. The ball's sport down there by Payne. And in comes Mitchell Bain. Ball's still alive. The umpire sees it as a free kick. And I think it's Wiskin will take the relieving free kick. Still inside Augusta Margaret River's defensive 50. He's about 30 metres out from goal. He's got a short option if he needs it. He's going to go long out towards the commentary box here. Looking there for Donovan Donovan nearly took the mark, comes over to Crawford. Crawford gets the handball out to his skipper in Kevin Chitty. The ball has just gone over the top of his head in Johnson, or is it Cormac, and Wiskin takes a relieving mark. So just starting to get on top here, but Augusta Margaret River aren't going away. Wiskin takes a risk, goes over to Payne, finds him inside the ground, and all of a sudden the whole ground is open up here for Anderson. He gets a kick down the far side of the ground. Looking there, is it George? No, it's Donaldson. Donaldson, the tackler on Cormac a couple of minutes ago. Donaldson outnumbered 2-on-1, comes over to Goyder. Goyder then finds Versace right on centre wing on the far side of the ground. He comes inboard, looking there for Blaine Johnson. He misses the mark, and all of a sudden Margaret River have the numbers. They come in the centre of the ground. It goes to Spivey. Spivey gets the handball over there to his teammate, looking there for Cummings, but Cummings is pushed under the ball. And the ball comes back again, and Versace takes the relieving mark. It's not Versace, it's Wesley Higgins on the far side of the ground, just outside defensive 50. Got a shorter option if he wants it, and it's Galloway.
Just a quick around the grounds for Geograph. Civil, Bunbury 5-5-35, Donnybrook 3-3-21. So Donnybrook making a move.
Ball comes
at
up.
Payne Park.
Looking there for Lane. Lane misses the mark, just went over the top of his hands, and the umpire will come in on centre wing on the far side of the ground here at the picturesque Hands Oval, with South Bunbury holding a slender 1-goal lead 22 minutes into the third quarter. All thrown up. It's one down there by Yakas, comes over to Spence. He drives the ball in there looking for Spivey, goes through him, comes over to Walrot, over to there.
You're going
Ivy.
nowhere.
And there's no hole there, and the ball will be thrown up.
Gee, what a good game of footy. I like 11 and 9 goals, 20 goals scored already, and went up before three-quarter time. Pretty handy game.
Yakas uses his body, wins the ball down. Goyder could have been held. The umpire doesn't see it that way. Comes over to Ivy. He gets a handball out. He's set upon over to Walrot, back to Goyder. Goyder gets a handball out, but all is there is Margaret River. Comes over to Shanahan. Shanahan couldn't pick the ball up. The ball's still in dispute, but the umpire will come in and throw the ball up about 60 metres out from AMR's goal. 23 minutes into the third quarter. A goal here, and all of a sudden we're back to even. Yakas wins the ball down. It comes over there to Thomas Shanahan. Shanahan has a shot on goal. The ball drops short, goes over Payne's head, and it's rushed through for a behind. LJ Hooker Property Southwest scoreboard. Augusta Margaret River 9 goals 10-64, trailing the South Bunbury Tigers 11 goals 3-69.
Tyson Lane coming off the Harvey Norman interchange bench. He got a bit of a knock out on the outer side. He's had a quiet afternoon, Tyson.
He's been quiet. We all know what he can do, so let's hope when he comes back on he can do that if you're a South Bunbury supporter. As once again Goyder plays on out of the goal square, kicks the ball long on the outer side of the ground, looking there for his skipper in Chitty. He's well spoilt there by Morgan. The ball comes out. Margaret River have the numbers here. He's got players inside, and Bridgeland decides to bypass him and look for Mitchell Payne. Payne gets the handball out. He's got numbers. Comes
everywhere.
over to Bridgeland. Bridgeland has a shot on goal. The ball's coming back. The ball's coming back. Good enough. That Bridgeland from 45 metres out after the handball from Payne puts a goal through for Augusta Margaret River and wrests the lead back from South Bunbury and on the LJ.
Number of AMR players in that forward 50 all by themselves. They had to just weigh out the weight of numbers. A terrific finish by Bridgeland, but just the weight of numbers, and there wasn't a Tiger to be seen. So a bit of work to do, I think.
It's just all about getting that ball going forward as quick as it can to make sure the numbers are in your favour.
It's zipping from either end to end, isn't it? How you going, Weaver? Your first game Southwest Footy League for this year?
Loving it, mate. Absolutely loving it. Once again, it's Yakas in the middle V. Nordell wins the ball down.
That's been a good move.
Ball. Nordell drives the ball in looking for Johnson. It's over his head. It comes out there to Ivy. He must have done something wrong out there in the last 10 minutes, as every time he gets the footy, they just want to tackle him and tackle him hard.
The move of Nordell into the ruck by South Bunbury has been a big one. He's getting up at least 50-50 in the taps, but also around the ground, taking a lot of the footy.
The ball's one out there, but it comes straight down to Morgan, who put the ball onto his foot, and all of a sudden, Mitchell Bain, who's been a little bit quiet today, is going to have a shot directly in front. It's going to kick from about 50 metres out to once again give South Bunbury the lead.
Right on his kicking distance, you'd think, Weaver?
Oh, I reckon he's got it no problem. I'm not sure after seeing Jay score back in the second quarter. But Mitchell Bain, he's a terrific player. Gets close to the man on the mark, runs around, gets a fair purchase on the ball. Has it got the legs? But no, it lands short.
Good defensive mark.
And I think it's Ullman takes the relieving mark right on the goal line. No, it's Beau Morgan. So he's back to where he, done his apprenticeship. He looks out there for Anderson, but the ball
that was good hard work from Waldrop then. He had to make up a lot of distance for the Tigers. If AMR had got that, they were away and running. He ran across in a very good thump. As a defender, you would have liked that one.
I don't mind them. The ball's thrown in short. Nordell's in front, and he'll win the free kick and once again drive South Bunbury deep into the goals. About 70 metres out, 2 kicks out from goal. He looks there for Johnson. That's a terrific
kick.
Terrific kick from Nordell. And as you said, Craney, that move of him into the ruck, he's basically winning half of the ruck, but he's playing as a ruck rove, and all of a sudden, Blaine Johnson will shoot for his 4th.
Well, he's hard work to keep up with around the ground.
So in comes Johnson. He's not wasting any time from about 30 metres out. More than a 45-degree angle. Shoots on goal. And he's hit it a little bit thin, and it goes through for a minor score. 27 and a half minutes into the third quarter, and all of a sudden, we're dead even.
We're back to where we started from at the start of the game.
LJ Hooker Property Southwest scoreboard. 11 goals, 470. South Bunbury, 10 goals, 1070. Margaret River. The ball's brought back into play there by Ellis. Looking there for, I think it was Payne. Payne misses the ball. Goes over his head, comes out to Anderson. Anderson gets the ball out to Spivey, who's been good today. He looks down there in the direction of George. Only takes the mark. Has the umpire paid it? Yes, he has. He comes inside the middle of the ground looking for Yakas. He's on his own, no one around him. He drives the ball long, looking there for Payne. It goes over his head. I think it's Higgins there. Gets onto the ball, ties the ball up. He could be in trouble here. He could be in trouble. He's in trouble.
Yeah. Didn't make an effort at all to get rid of that after he'd dragged it in, or right on the siren too. This is a very important shot for a goal right after the siren at 3/4 time.
So I apologise to Higgins. I think it was Toby Hawkins that dragged the ball in. And this is George going for his 4th of the game, I think. So Byron George, we know he's got the leg. He's going to kick after the siren from, 25 metres out. 60-degree angle. Distance, no problem at all. This is to give Margaret River the lead. Any score will give them the lead. As in comes George. Getting plenty of advice out on the far side. Kicks there. The umpire does not move.
That is a very good kick. So after the siren, a magnificent kick by Byron George has put AMR in front. They are 11-10-76. They lead South Bunbury 11-4-70. A great 3/4 of footy. We've got an excellent quarter still to come. We'll see after the break. This is SEN Spirit's coverage of the Southwest Football League. Well, it is 3/4 time in what has been a terrific game of football. South Bunbury 11 goals, 470. They trail AMR 11-10-66. Thanks to Hyundai Honda and cashforcans.com.au. Weaver, that quarter just give us everything, didn't it? There was very little defence and the sides were just scoring at will.
Oh, they were. I mean, South Bunbury kicked 3 goals and Margaret kicked 5. But great work there by George, especially up forward. Kicked a couple of terrific goals, but the goal after the siren gives them a 6-point lead going into the last quarter. And both teams aren't going away, and it's been a little bit sloppy throughout parts of the game, but I think it all comes down to pressure, doesn't it? The pressure from both teams for 3/4 has been outstanding, and I can't see that changing in the last 30 minutes of footy.
No, it's goal for goal, and I mean, as soon as you turn the ball over, it just zips up the other side. So turnovers. But these two sides have put on a terrific performance throughout the afternoon. It started off a bit slow, this game, where it was a bit scraggly, but gee, I tell you what, some of the skill levels have been pretty good.
Oh, they've been outstanding, and I think it's that pressure that Margaret River put on South Bunbury in the first quarter made them look probably less than average, which is not South Bunbury's way. But after that, the skill level's been terrific. I mean, you get it in the right hand, especially Goyder, Galloway coming out of the back line. They're long penetrating left foot kicks. And all of a sudden you got Spence, Goodwin, George has kicked a couple of magnificent goals from very long range. Cormac for South Bunbury as well. So it's been a terrific game of footy. Slight lead, leaning towards Margaret River going into the last 30 minutes. Great finish coming up.
Just about to start the final quarter of the clash between South Bunbury and AMR. Thanks to White and Emmett, your animal feed megastore. It is SC and Spirit and Nigel Reeves.
As Nordell, terrific move by Burgess to put him in the ruck, wins the ball down in the direction of Chitty, comes over to Cormac, he comes in and the umpire will come in.
Gee, how important was that goal after the siren at three-quarter time? Time will tell, but that was a magnificent goal.
Sure was, as Yakas uses his body and wins the ball down. It goes in the direction of Callaway, comes over there when it could have been taken high. But once again, the pressure's up. Once again in the first minute of this last quarter, and the umpire will come and throw it up about 70 metres out from Margaret River's goal. Thrown up once again. Nordell wins the ball down, but he wins it straight to his opponent, Ruckman in Yakas. It comes over to Spence. Spence gets the ball out there to, I think it's Nordell. And the umpire once again will come in and throw the ball up. Still in the centre of the ground here at Hands Oval. So who's going to win this game? It's one down by Nordell. It comes to Chitty. Chitty gets the ball over there to Bodie Nordell. He ducks his head, gets his head through the pack, wins the ball down in the direction there of Hawkins. Ball comes out and South Bunbury have the numbers here in Chitty. Chitty's got room to move and assess his option. He gets the ball down there looking for Johnson. Johnson puts on a terrific lead and takes the mark about 50 metres out in front of Mitch Ellis, and will have the first legitimate shot on goal in the last quarter to draw level once again with the Margaret River Hawks.
Has 3 for the afternoon as Johnson presents very well and works hard at ground level, does the big fella. Very important kick for him though.
So Johnson coming in for his 4th goal today. He's going to kick from right on 50. Man on mark just inside. Kicks the ball, gets great purchase on that. Umpire moves a little bit. I think it's done enough. It has. As Johnson puts through the opening goal of the last quarter to draw level. The scores are level once again. 1 minute into the last quarter here on the right Emmett scoreboard. South
He enjoyed that one, the big fella. He turned around when you were wondering whether he got it. By the look of him, he had it. 2 fists in the air from Blaine Johnson. Good start by the Tigers. Game on again.
And once again, they found space, and Chitty was terrific in the clinches in the middle in the opening 2 or 3 ball-ups. Got himself out, assessed his option, and had plenty of time to do so. And a terrific lead by Johnson and a terrific finish as well. The move of Nordell into the ruck has made it.
I think that's been the big one.
It sure has. Once again, the ball's up in the middle. Yakas wins the ball down this time. Could have been a holding the ball decision paid there in favour of Spivey for Margaret River. And he'll take the kick right in the middle of the ground. Been good today, Spivey. Gets the ball in short and finds Yakas.
So has this man been absolutely outstanding, the big fella.
He wheels around, plays around the man on the marking. Cormac drives the ball long. Asking a lot there for Cummings. It goes over his head, comes over to Spence. Spence has a shot on goal. It's all about the bounce. And the bounce doesn't go his way this time as Spence ran into an open goal and tried to dribble it through. But does give Margaret River a 1-point lead 3 minutes into the last quarter. Once again, Goyder plays on out of fullback, drives the ball long down in the middle of the ground, looking there for Cormac. He tries to come over the top. The ball's spoiled. It comes out to Chitty. He wins the ball clean. Comes over the back there, and here's Lane. Lane's just got him in the goals. Johnson, if he wants him, it goes over to Lane. Johnson can let it throw through. And Johnson does. And Tyson Lane, a name we haven't called so much today, come off late in that 3rd quarter. Thought he was a little bit injured. Runs to within 30 metres of goal and pops through South Bunbury's 13th goal of the
Not sure whether he was going to just chop it over top to Blaine. I think he was in 2 minds himself, but the ball went through and the game just keeps on flowing there, Weaver.
And I think Johnson might have been in 2 minds as well, being a true forward. Do I mark it and get an easy one? Anyway, he done the right thing for the team.
I think he was going to get it.
The 5-point lead here to South Bunbury. The ball back in the middle again. It's not one down by any ruckman. Spence could have been taken high. Comes over to Yackers. He gets the ball out to Spivey. Spivey tries to get handle on the ball. Over to Nordell. Back over to Waldrock. He gets onto his left foot. The ball bounces in front there. I think it's Mitchell Bain. Bain comes down the wing here, looking here for Lane, the last goal kicker for South Bunbury. The ball goes over his head. Keeps the ball in play, does he? The ball's gone out of bounds. Good call there by the boundary umpires. We've seen that one clean from here.
Good position then for the boundary umpire.
Probably just spent it a little bit before he had it, and the second bounce beat him, and the ball will be thrown in about 70 metres out from South Bunbury's goal as they look to turn the heat up here early in the last quarter, holding a 5-point lead. Doing a terrific job here, the boundary umpire. Ball's in, falls a little bit short. It's one there by Yackis in front of Nordell. Comes over to Waldrod. He tries to get the handball out, but he's tied up.
Did he try and get the handball out?
I think so. Let's give it to him. He's tied up there by Spence, and the ball will be thrown up about 70 metres out from South Bunbury's goal.
We're looking for a tackle of the game for Bunbury Mower service this afternoon. There's been plenty of them to pick from.
Yackis swings the ball down in the direction there of Ben Watson, but he's tied up there by skipper Chitty, and once again the ball will be thrown up. Chitty's going to take the ruck work here, tries to use his body, goes past Yackis. Yackis comes out, the handball out there by Spivey, comes over in the direction of Morgan. The ball spills out over there to Chitty, who's been terrific early in the last quarter. The umpire's going to come in, he lets it go. What's going to happen here? He's still let it go. Should come in now and throw the ball up just inside South Bunbury's forward 50.
I think Bo Morgan thought he was playing rugby there. He just put the arm down and went in. Made a couple of yards.
Made about 10 metres here in front of South Bunbury.
Well, show my age, wouldn't I? Yards.
Yards. We all know what that is. I'll Google it.
Yeah.
The umpire's seen a free kick here, and Jed Spence will be the recipient.
Why did they change it?
He comes across ground. He's asking a fair bit there as he's outnumbered. Goiter comes over the top. It goes to Ivy. He gets a short kick in and finds Cormac, and he'll have a shot on goal from about 50 metres out.
That only just covered the distance, I would have thought as well.
Cormac in the second quarter kicked one from about the same range, so it's been terrific today, Cormac. I think he's going for his
already. Fourth, yes, you're right there, Weaver.
He's going to kick from dead on 50. Plays on now. Oh, he shanked it once again, but it's in a dangerous position. South Bunbury have the numbers here. Probably could have taken the mark there. Was it Versace running down there?
It was Nordell at the back.
Nordell, he's hurt himself as well. Maybe he winded himself. Comes over there to Kemp, but he's set upon, and the ball will be thrown up about 25 metres out from South Bunbury's goal.
Nordell had plenty of purchase on that one as well, and it just let it slip at the last minute.
So Yackis versus Ethan Nordell. One down by any ruckman there. Ball's still in dispute on the far side of the ground. Comes over to Nordell. Comes back out there to Cormac. Cormac will have a shot on goal. He gets a handball over to Crane. Goes to Crawford on his left foot. Crawford has a shot on goal, and the ball goes across the face of the goal for a minor score. And on the right and Emmett's scoreboard, South Bunbury now go to 13 goals, 583.
What's the chances of a drawn game here, Weaver?
It's looking that way, isn't it? Augusta Margaret River, 11 goals, 11, 77. Ball's back in, finds Bo Morgan, still inside defensive 50. He plays on, he's going to come down long here in front of the commentary box, looking there and finding Noah Cummings. The ball's been touched according to the umpire. In comes Waldrot. Cummings goes back for a second effort, and the ball will be thrown up right in front of the commentary box.
Credit to the players, isn't it, this game of footy? It's been played at a pretty good pace, and they're still going in.
South Bunbury have had all the play early in the last quarter. Yackis wins the ball down once again. Chitty's been terrific in the clinches in the last quarter and a half. Cormac uses his body, gets the ball over. Could have been done without the ball. Comes over to Morgan. He misses the ball. Over to Lane. Lane's in there once again after kicking that goal. Now is looking superbly dangerous down forward. And the ball will be thrown up about 30 metres out from South Bunbury's goal. Chitty once again takes a ruck knock, uses his body, puts the ball in a dangerous position. Looks there for Crawford. He misses the mark. He's well spoilt there by Anderson. Comes back to Anderson on a handball there in front of Crane. Anderson tries to get a handle on it. Comes over there to Bridgeland. Bridgeland, a goal kicker in the third quarter. Gets a handball over there to Watson. Comes back to Jed Spence. Spence gets onto his left foot. South Bunbury have all the numbers here. Versace, Hawkins. and just about the whole team really. It could have been done holding the ball. Terrific tackle there.
That was good by AMR, put enough pressure on.
Surely George is too far out from here.
I'd reckon there, with.
George puts the ball down there looking for his AMR teammate. Could have been paid the mark. Comes over there to Oldman. He's wrapped up in a tackle about 40 metres out from goal. So terrific tackle. Few players looking a little bit worse for wear in those last couple of contests. And the ball will be thrown up about 40 metres out from Augusta Margaret River's goal. This young Bodie Nordell coming off, looking a little bit
on the Harvey
ginger.
Norman interchange bench. There's quite a few little injuries. Might have to go to SKG for a bit of a scan to look up.
Jay Wright gets the ball onto his boot, gains about 40 metres, and the ball will go out of bounds. Nelly on centre wing on the far side of the ground, with South Bunbury holding a 6-point lead 10 minutes into the last quarter. Terrific game of footy. Yakis, who's been huge for Augusta Margaret River today, goes up against Ethan Nordell. He wins the ball down to himself, basically comes over to Sean Crane, who's been terrific also there in the direction of Cormac. 3 goals for the afternoon for Jace Cormac, and the ball goes out of bounds about 70 metres out from South Bunbury's goal. Ethan Nordell versus Yakis. Once again, Yakis wins clean possession, gets the ball out there towards Shanahan. He can't get a handle on it. Comes back over to Nordell. Or was it Waldrod? He gets a handball to Spence, who was under pressure. Over to Cormac. He's got cramp out of that. Over to Mitch Ellis. He's tackled. Terrific tackle there by, I think it was Ivy. Still the ball's still alive here. Comes back out to Ellis. Over there to Anderson. He tries to get the kick in there, but it's cut off there by South Bunbury. Comes over to Crawford, and he's wrapped up in a tackle right on half forward flank for South Bunbury. And the umpire will come in once again and throw the ball up.
Mitch Bain struggling with cramp, and the ball kept coming towards him. Nothing worse.
Yakis wins the ball down once again over to Chitty, who's been terrific. Gets it over to Crawford. He drives the ball long there, looking for Lane. Lane's first back on the scene with a terrific second effort. Comes over there to Ivy. He's been good today. Gets a heavy bump back over to Lane. Over to Donovan. Back to Kemp. Back to Cook. Tackled there by Crane, the smallest man, nearly on the ground. Still gets a handball. The ball's still alive. And Ivy's wrapped up in a terrific tackle. And the umpire will come and throw it up about 50 metres out from South Bunbury's goal. Yakis v Chitty. Yakis comes over the top and wins the ball down, but it comes back over the back of the pack towards Wesley Higgins, and he takes the ball out of bounds. Still 2 quick kicks from South Bunbury's goal. They've had all the play in the last quarter. 12 minutes in, right them at scoreboard. 13 goals 5, 83 to Margaret River. 11 goals 11, 77. The ball's won down here by Oldman. He looks for Bridgeland, and the ball's rushed out of bounds there by Goyder, who's been terrific at centre half back today. And the ball will be thrown in right on centre wing, right in front of the commentary box. 6 points the lead to South Bunbury. 13 minutes into the last quarter. Nordell v Yakis. The ball goes over the top in the direction of Spivey. He kicks the ball off the ground towards Anderson. Anderson can't win the ball. The umpires deem that he dragged the ball in, and Galloway will take the relieving kick for the South Bunbury Tigers. He's been terrific today, Galloway. Comes over to his fellow backman in Goyder, and Goyder takes a mark right in front of the commentary box on centre wing. Thomas Goyder, centre half back.
How you going, Weaver? I just had to go and do some stuff.
Centre half back for South Bunbury, switches play. Goes right across the far side of the ground and finds Waldrop. Waldrop comes into the middle of the ground and finds Mitchell Bain. Bain still in the middle of the square, has Goyder where it come from, but he's going to go far side of the ground there looking for Ivy, and that's a terrific kick, and finds Ivy still about 75 metres out from South Bunbury's goal. Ivy's been terrific today. He plays on around the man on the mark, and Anderson kicks the ball high. South Bunbury in good position here, and it's Jace Cormac who's been terrific today.
I'm putting him down for a CPR mark of the day because it was just one, but we haven't got too many of them actually. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that,
Thank
Crony.
you, mate.
It's Jace Cormac will have Probably his third shot from around 50 metres. We know he can make the distance. His last couple of shots at goal haven't been his best, but he's still getting plenty of the ball.
Young Zach Ivey comes off through the Harvey Norman interchange. Very good effort out there.
He's been good today, Zach
Which will
Ivey.
let Ben Horsman back on as Jace Cormack has his shot.
It's Cormack. He's got a good purchase on this one. Just a little bit thin. It goes through for a minor score.
Is that a handy point, Weaver?
I think so, this game. It's been all down South Bunbury's end, basically, for the whole of this quarter. As we just tick over 15 minutes into the last. Right on Emmett's scoreboard, 13 goals, 6, 84 South Bunbury, 11 goals, 11, 77 Augusta Margaret River. The ball's put in high there.
It's a good mark from Rocco.
But Rocco Versace takes the relieving mark, gets the handball over to Reece Crawford. He gets onto his left foot, puts it to the teeth of goal. Cormack's there. It's not Cormack, it's Tyson Lane.
Now, I think we've put that one down as well, Weaver. Tyson Lane, he's had a bit of a quiet day, as we said, but this is what he's known to do. A terrific mark in the goal square, and he will kick from about 5 metres out directly in front.
But Tyson Lane, the only Tiger in a nest of hawks, and he's taken the mark. Top of the goal square.
There, mate. Yeah.
Tyson Lane comes back, easy as you like. Extends the lead out now to 13 points as Tyson Lane, very quiet in the first 3 quarters. We know he can play better than that, but he's kicked 2 goals in the last quarter. Right in Emmett.
There was a flurry of fists around there, but he just had enough to keep control of it and put it through from point blank range as Harvey Norman interchange bench, getting plenty of use down there. Thanks to MGIB, like a good neighbour, MGIB is there. And SKG, get your scans done at SKG. I tell you what, there'll be a few boys that need a bit of a massage after this game because it's been played at a hectic pace.
Once again, the ball's in the middle. Yakas wins the ball down. It comes over there in the direction of Spivey, who's been good today. Looking there for Morgan. The ball's sport down. Comes towards Donaldson. He's wrapped up quickly. Comes over to Galloway, who's been terrific. He gets on the left foot. Just misses his skipper in Chitty. Comes over to Ullman. He just chucks the ball on his boot. Augusta Margaret River have the numbers here. It comes over to Bridgeland. He could have a shot on goal. He gives it to Spence. Spence snaps on his left foot. And the responding goal within 30 seconds from the centre bounce goes to Spence. Terrific effort there by Bridgeland. Unselfishly gives it to Spence. And Spence pops through the first goal for Margaret River in the last quarter.
But he's had a number of possessions and very good possessions as well.
Terrific effort there. Oldman just got that chaos ball in just outside 50. Bridgeland got the good bounce, unselfishly gave it to Spence, and Spence made no mistake. Looks just as gifted on his left and right side of the body does Spence. He's been terrific today. 2 in the second quarter, 1 in the last. Right in Emmett's scoreboard. 7-point margin now. South Bunbury 14 goals, 690. Margaret River 12 goals, 11, 83. Umpire's called a free kick in the middle here.
Not sure who's called that. Someone's
maybe a
called
666 rule.
All umpires are looking at each other going, what's going on here? It is a 666 rule.
So I'm not sure if that's a free kick or a reset in the middle of the ground. Not sure if the umpires know. Maybe it's just best to throw the ball up in the middle of the ground.
It should be, shouldn't it? The 6-6 rule's been around for a while. If you're not doing it,
yep,
it should be a kick at all levels.
Once again, it's thrown up. Favours Yakas. He wins the ball down in the direction there of Spivey. Could have been paid the free kick. Comes over there towards Kemp. Back to Spivey. Ball still in hot dispute. The pressure's on here. Comes to Fisher. Over to Versace. He gets a handball out. Comes to Anderson. Back to, I think it's Watson. He gets onto his left foot, has a shot on goal. Goal square's open. It's all about the bounce, but back there it's Versace. He's been terrific all day. Ooh, he uses his left foot. Not bad either. I only thought there was there for balance, and it comes out to Baskerville.
Never in doubt. Hit it up, lace up.
Baskerville goes back inboard and finds Galloway.
Mind you, it didn't look fluent, but it worked.
Comes back over there to, I think it's right. He goes out there looking for Versace. He gets a nice bounce. Could have been taken high. Ball's still in dispute. Tackling pressure still at the top shelf. And the ball will be thrown up just on 50 still from Margaret River's goal.
Blake Anderson, the new coach of AMR too, working the boards.
Doing a great job. His team 7 points down. 19 minutes into the last quarter. Yakis wins a big hit out. It comes over there to Baskerville. Over to Radecki. Radecki tries to win the ball out. Could be done here trying to fend off some players, but the umpire doesn't see it that way.
Gee, we've been lucky in the first 3 games we've called in the Southwest Football League season. We've been absolutely blessed because they've been absolute beauties, and this is no exception.
Probably still 5 to 8 minutes to play in this game. Yakis wins clean possession. Comes over there to Radecki. Still, the ball's still going here as it comes out to Nordell. Gives a handball, but his teammates under pressure. And once again, the umpire will come in and throw it in. Still inside Margaret River's forward 50. Ball goes up straight away. Over comes Nordell. Back to Yakis. Yakis gets a handball out. Over to Radecki. Comes over here. I think that's Watson. Back to Spivey. Spivey tries to get around his opponent. Does a couple of spins. Back to Bridgeland. Bridgeland has a shot on goal from 40. It goes across the face of goal. Out of bounds on the full.
Gee, Spivey just couldn't get out of that tackle, could he? He could see the goals looming up, but just couldn't break the tackle.
Bridgeland's looking dangerous down there. Haven't called him a lot today, but he's a terrific player. As once again Galloway brings the ball in. It's a looking kick, but it finds Bodie Nordell.
Luck's a fortune a bit there. That was an old floater, and Bodie Nordell in the right position at the right time.
He's been terrific today. He goes short and finds Versace, who's also been one of South Bunbury's best.
Found a real niche for himself down back, hasn't he, Rocco Versace?
I think the modern game suits him where he can use his fitness to run down the ground. He comes right in front of the commentary box there, looking for Waldrott.
That's a very good grab too.
Terrific mark. Put that one down, Craney. Right in front of us here, Cade Waldrott. Just trying to slow it down a little bit now, South Bunbury. Holding a 7-point lead, 21 minutes into the last. Looks down the line looking for his skipper. Could have been paid a free kick, but the ball goes out of bounds. Right in front of the Augusta Margaret River interchange box. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of advice down there for the South Bunbury boys.
No doubt about that.
Ball will be thrown in once again. Be Yakis v Nordell. Terrific move by Burgess, putting Nordell into the ruck. Yakis has been terrific as well. Ball's thrown in, balls lands a little bit short. It's one down by Yakis to no one in particular. It comes over to Chitty. Chitty gets some sort of kick in, but it's out towards Bridgeland.
Oh, he
comes
stole
over to Galloway. He stole that one. Over to Crawford. Had Crane running in support. Crawford's been good today. Gets onto that left foot. Drives it long. Looking
Great
for
mark. Johnson.
And Morgan comes across the front of the pack. And
he's a
takes
real rock
terrific
down
mark.
there, isn't he, Bo Morgan?
Comes out there looking for Payne. Payne goes down the boundary line and finds Cummings. Cummings right in front of the interchange box now. Looking for options. South Bunbury got one man back here. He goes into the middle of the ground. Risky looking kick.
That's a great
and
mark.
Siska takes the mark in front. Comes over there towards Crane via handball. Crane gets the ball in looking for Johnson. That's a terrific kick. Terrific kick by Sean Crane. Plenty of space there for Blaine Johnson to run into some open space. And Crane honoured that lead. And a terrific mark. Just found a couple of metres on his direct opponent in Alice. And Johnson will go back for number 4.
Absolutely nothing
Number
Alice.
5.
Nothing Alice could do about that. The kick, the lead, he got a couple of metres on him, and the kick was right on the dot. And yeah, lining up for number 5, Blaine Johnson, for the afternoon.
Blaine Johnson comes in, gets underneath the ball a little bit. It pushes it across the face of goal. And he'd be disappointed with that effort. No 2 arms in the air that time, Croney.
No, it's a good way to watch how it's going, because you watch his Blaine's body language and you soon know whether he's on track or not.
That ball will be brought back in here by, I think it's Kemp from Margaret River, right on the point post. He's going to come down towards the commentary box there, looking for Bridgeland. Nordell's there, gets in front, gets the ball out, comes over to Galloway, who's been terrific, puts a short kick in towards Cormac. Cormac uses his body. Could have been done for a throw. Gets it over to Waldrott.
Almost like a bit of a rugby pass through the legs there by Lane, but he got away with it, and Waldrott kicks it out of bounds on the full again.
So another relieving kick here for Margaret River. They need a goal now, 24 minutes into the last quarter. Not sure how much time's left. There wouldn't be any more than 4 or 5 minutes left in this game. Mitchell Payne will bring the ball back into play. He's going to go long. He's going to look for Noah Cummings. Cummings v Nordell. Galloway's there as well. The ball comes over the top to Baskerville. And Baskerville...
There's something about that boundary line down there.
Very, very, very similar to his president of the South Bunbury Footy Club at the Donnybrook Golf Club last week. Absolutely sprays it.
It took 24 minutes into the last quarter for you to have a crack at her. There you go.
I hope she didn't hear that. But
she will, because
that was not dissimilar to some of her tee shots.
That's 3 times in the minute that's gone out of bounds in that pocket on the full.
Bo Morgan will bring the ball back into play. He comes in short there looking for Shanahan, and Shanahan's finds some space. They need to get it on quick here. He plays on around the mark, runs himself into trouble, goes around Chitty, and I think he's, with Chitty's pressure, has
There's
put that out.
something wrong with this.
It must be windy.
Boundary line. Must be. Not a breath of air out there, is there?
Ball's out of play, comes over to Galloway. Galloway goes inside there looking for Crane. The ball bounces short, but he picks it up beautifully. Comes down there looking for his skipper in Chitty. Over the top comes Morgan. Over to Watson. Comes there to Mitchell Bain. Over to Morgan. Morgan tries to get the handball out to Shanahan, and Shanahan runs the ball out right in front of the commentary box once again. In front of the Augusta Margaret River interchange box, right in Emmett's scoreboard, 14-6-90 South Bunbury, Augusta Margaret River 12-11-83. Ball goes over the top of both ruckman's head, comes over to Shanahan. He's set upon there by Baskerville, and the ball will be thrown up. Still about 75-80 metres out from South Bunbury's goal.
Time ticking away for AMR, although the last couple of quarters have run for a good while.
Yakas wins the ball down, but comes over there to Chitty.
Thanks to MGIB, like a good neighbour, MGIB are there and great supporters of us.
Nordell wins the ball down. It comes over there to Spivey. He just chucks the ball on his boot. And it's
Benny Horsman.
Benny Horsman taking the relieving mark at centre half back. He brings the ball across and finds Galloway, who's been terrific. He's got Versace on his own out on the far wing.
He covers some distance, doesn't he, Versace?
Versace holds the ball up, comes back inside and finds Bodie Nordell. Nordell now goes across the outer side of the ground.
Jay Wright.
And finds Jay Wright. Just finding space now, just making sure of their possessions. He's going to come back to where's it come from. And once again, he finds Gorda. Gorda has Basketball out on the far wing on a lead. Also has Horsman following up behind him. Just holding the ball up now. He's going to come in front and find Basketball for the short pass. Versace's run from one side of the ground to the other to offer a lead. All of a sudden he's going to go longer than that. Looking there and finding, is it Hawkins? But the ball goes out of bounds. This time right in front of the timekeeper's box. As we tick over 27.5 minutes now in the last quarter. South Bunbury 14 goals, 690. Augusta Margaret River 12 goals, 1183. Augusta Margaret River need a goal now just to put some real pressure on. The ball's thrown in. Yakas gets the ball out the back. Comes over there looking for Donovan. Donovan gets the ball down to Goodwin. Goodwin drives the ball forward looking there for Morgan. It goes over his back. Could have been paid a mark to Galloway. Galloway gets a handball there to Jay Wright. Wright comes out to Cormac, who's been terrific all day. Could have been taken without the ball. The umpire says no. Comes over there to George. George gets a handball out. Oh, and a hot one too. It comes over there to Morgan, but he's tackled and set upon. And the umpire said no prior. Not sure about that.
No, it was a fend off. The hand went up. That's what it went.
It's Spence. So Galloway takes a relieving kick for the South Bunbury Tigers and finds Crawford out on the far side of the ground. Crane is still running hard, puts on a terrific lead, and Crawford honours that one. And Crane takes the mark on centre wing on the far side of the ground and finds Siska.
And that is all she wrote on the White and Emmett scoreboard. South Bunbury run out winners, 14 goals, 690 to AMR, 12 goals, 1183. A magnificent game of footy we have just witnessed here at Hands Oval. We're going to take a quick break and let Nigel Reeve get his breath back and then come back and wrap it all up.